The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM and hits 103.9 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Jubilee and Sun City Radio's Keta Saboba, FM Saboba, and A1 Radio Bolgatanga. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, Anti-Galamsey Group demand the arrest and prosecution of Amenfi NPP candidate Ernest Frimpong for allegedly inciting minors against security forces.
But I hope that this prospective MP will be questioned, arrested, and if there's the basis for it, prosecuted.
Well, we'll hear from the MP candidate who's been clarifying his comments.
I did not engage illegal minors. I engaged minors in the Memphis East constituency. I am saying that they should be exposed. We should fight illegal operatives.
Also, NDC flag bearer John Mahama lashes out at the Ghana police for arresting NDC's parliamentary candidate for Ewutu-Senya East, Felix Nakoyo Kuno, describing it as selective justice.
If the government was seeking to break the spirit of Nakoyo with that politically organized arrest, they rather handed over the Ewutu-Senya East parliamentary seat.
In business, the city's rate of depreciation against the dollar continues to slow significantly. Also later, it's back and promises to be exciting with heart-wrenching moments, which of the over 300 senior high schools across the country makes it to the grand quiz. We have details as the competition kick-starts in both the Greater Accra and Bono regions in 3 hours. These and more with me, Mamiesi Nyamiche Thompson. Please stay. And in our first story, there are calls for the arrest and prosecution of NPP parliamentary candidate for Amenfi East, Ernest Frimpong, following a viral video in which he urges minors to retaliate against uniformed security personnel at mining sites. Eco-conscious citizens and advocacy group against illegal forest destruction is leading this charge, condemning Mr. Frimpong's comments as unacceptable and insists the police takes immediate action. We'll hear from the group coordinator Awula Sewa shortly, but first, listen to the speech by Ernest Frimpong in this report.
Patrols help to reduce crime, but if they start destroying your equipment or try to evict you, and if they beat you, retaliate. Ernest Frimpong, the NPP parliamentary candidate for Memphis East constituency in the Western region, was captured in a viral video advising minors at a forum to resist security personnel attempting to evict or harass them. Don't look at their uniform. You don't work for the security agencies.
While Mr. Frimpong has clarified his comments, however, he maintains the minors should defend themselves against any security operatives who harass them, alleging that some of these operatives are sent by the NDC.
The video. And so the clarity is that I did not engage illegal minors. I engaged minors in the Memphis East constituency. And from January to now, we have seen a number of military, police, let me say security attacks on the miners who are legally doing their work. And you call to find out where these people are coming from, and you realize that it is coming from no authority.
To address this is to attack uniformed men? Is that what you're saying?
I am saying that if the people in uniform can go to the length of engaging civilians in a business form to torment minors who are legally working, then they should be exposed. We should fight illegal operators who are doing illegal work, where I deem it as corrupt act, and that should be fought.
And he had Ernest Frimpong in an interview with my colleague Aisha Ibrahim, but coordinator of Eco-Conscious Citizens Awula Sewa believes he must be arrested.
That's unacceptable. We're not in the jungle. There's ecocide taking place. And if all the parliamentary candidate can do is to incite persons to attack the military, then I think his position is untenable. He should either resign or be sacked by the NP. And I hope the police, I hope the IGP has listened to the tape, and I hope an arrest will be made soon. There's no fight against illegal mining. Some underlings are arrested from time to time. But
Well, still on illegal mining, climate issues, diseases, and smuggling has caused Ghana's cocoa export revenue to plummet by more than $500 million in the first quarter of 2024 as the country's annual production continues to decline. This drop, reported in the Bank of Ghana's summary of macroeconomic and financial data for May 2024, comes at a time when the cedi is struggling against major trading currencies, having lost more than 20% of its value against the US dollar. Isaac Ofeje has more on the following report.
When cocoa coughs, the cedi catches a cold, and that has been the case this year. Galamsey, diseases and droughts have severely impacted Ghana's projected yields for this year. Consequently, export revenues from cocoa have plummeted by more than $500 million in the first quarter of this year compared to the same period last year. Export values dropped from over $1 billion to approximately $500 million, while smuggling siphoned off about 150,000 tons last year. Sources indicate that the unresolved issues of Galamsey could jeopardize Cocoa Board's efforts to raise more than $1 billion through the cocoa syndicated loan arrangement for the purchasing of cocoa beans next year. In an interview with News Central, a Lagos-based TV station, the head of public affairs at Cocoa Board, Fifi Boafo, said the board has commenced a rehabilitation program in regions affected by swollen shoot diseases, which has caused the country to lose several tons of beans this year.
Indeed, this year, if you look at the numbers in terms of production, our numbers are not what we expected it to be.
Well, away from that, the NDC flag bearer John Mahama has criticized the Ghana Police Service for what he calls selective justice following the arrest of its parliamentary candidate for Ewutu East, Phyllis Nakoyo Okuno. She was detained on Friday on suspicion of unlawfully transferring firearms, but was released the following day. Mahama alleges the arrest was politically motivated. He made these comments during a live interaction on social media.
The inequality and selective justice of this government are galling. Otherwise, how could Hawa Kumsin, who fired a weapon at a registration center and boasted about it, walk away free? And a parliamentary candidate for Ewutu East is detained partly because the very police that issued her with a firearms license misspelled her name. If the government was seeking to break the spirit of Nakoyo with that politically organized arrest, they rather handed over the Ewutu East parliamentary seat to the young woman who by all standards towers over and above the incumbent.
Meanwhile, the police administration says it will consult with the Attorney General on the possible prosecution of Phyllis Nakoyo Okuno. Away from that, the Gamanche Kintaki Teko Churu II is calling for unity as Ghana goes to the polls in December. Speaking through his linguist during a special day by Nana of the Asante and visiting the Ghana state, said the gesture of togetherness must be emulated in every aspect of the Ghanaian life.
Very soon we'll be going to the polls. I'm urging all sides to act responsibly so we can do this peacefully.
Meanwhile, the Asantehene Otufo said Tutu II has pledged 500,000 cedis to the Educational Trust Fund of the Ghana State to support education.
He came
here to demonstrate his love to you and your people. So he's pledging 500,000 Ghana cedis, 5 billion old cedis to support the education of your young people.
It's back and promises to be more exciting with heart-wrenching moments. But which school makes it to the 2024 edition of the National Science and Maths Quiz? Over 300 senior high schools across the country will slag it out to book a seat at the national stage of this year's competition. Emmanuel Bright Kweko has more.
The feeling, words cannot explain it. But seeing my Kofi Nita there, my Aaron Paul there, Kofi Fianco there, I knew they could do it because we're not meeting schools actually, we're meeting cubicles. Yes.
The indescribable feeling when your school makes it to the national competition of the most anticipated battle of the wits. The 2024 National Science and Math Quiz is ready for another year of intense academic showdowns. The NSMQ train is beginning a tour around the country for the regional qualifiers in the Bono and Greater Accra regions. Bono region Sunyani SHS and Notre Dame Girls SHS are joining 14 others to lock horns and make an appearance at the national stage.
I just want to tell the other schools that they should prepare. Prepare to be sick of us. Our molecules are moving very fast. Effective collision.
And that was Emmanuel Bright Kwaku's report, and the competition kickstarts in both the Greater Accra and Bono regions in just 3 hours. I am Amisi Nyamicha Thompson. Thanks for staying with us. Up next is Business on the Super Morning Show.
Do you have a game-changing and innovative business idea or project that can impact the society? This is your moment. Total Energies presents the 4th edition of the Startupper of the Year Challenge. This year, we are looking for 3 winners. The Best Entrepreneur, also called the InnovUp winner. The Best Project or Innovative Business Idea that exemplifies the principle of recycling and minimizing waste, also called the Cycle Up winner. And the Best Project that promotes or relates to sustainable and affordable energies, also called the Power Up winner. And that's not all. 4 additional projects in the Power Up category will be selected by an international jury. Don't wait any longer. Apply at www.startupper.totalenergies.com for a chance to win financial support, professional mentorship, and a spotlight for your project. Terms and conditions apply.
They say a butterfly flapping its wings in Accra can cause a tsunami in Bangkok. So what if your factory in Insawam could shake up the stock market in Hong Kong? What if your business in Elmina could affect fish production in Norway? What if your refinery in Tema could affect the price of petrol in Moscow? Well, now it can, because you have access to the bank with the largest number of customers in Africa. Access to our global branch network.
Bonjour. Good morning.
Our robust asset base and an unparalleled digital infrastructure. So go ahead and flap your wings wherever you are, because with us you have access to an entire world of possibilities. Access more than banking.
No matter your water needs, Sintex has it all. Sintex tank was first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Sintex tank was first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana, and now introduces the customer specs order, which will let you order any color and size you want. Sintex tanks gives you the biggest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you. So whatever your water consumption, size of project, or demand, choose Sintex tank. Sintex tank, stress-free. Sintex tank, reliable. Sintex tank, maximum guarantee. Call 0244 335 168, Kumasi 0505 555 666, or visit sintexgh.com. Sintex tank, a strong, a tough.
Hello, Auntie Araba. Hey, Bugger, how are you doing today? I want to buy Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, but I don't have enough money. So what are you going to do? Can you give me the big size? You know, as for me, I'll pay the balance later. Today, no credit. I haven't sold much this morning. If you don't have enough money for the big size, why don't you try the 120 gram pack? There's a 120 gram pack? Introducing the new Pepsodent Cavity Fighter in 120 gram pack size. More affordable and convenient. Get yours today from any supermarket near you. Every smile matters. This advert is FDA approved.
You worked hard for your money, and DSTV gives you a whole lot more for a lot less than you think. Ooh. Instead of one takeout dinner, how about treating the family to a whole month of the best entertainment with DSTV? From thrilling sports, blockbusters, captivating series, to entertaining kid shows, we have it all.
Totally awesome!
And with DSTV Stream, you can watch on the go.
I'm here!
Plus, you can choose a package to suit your pocket. There's a whole lot more to enjoy for a lot less than you think with DSTV.
Do you know what that is? It's the sound of me looking into my Nido 23 grams promo sachet for a code so I can win in the Nido Opa Tampamo promo.
Become one of the 3 lucky winners of a fully paid family getaway in Nido's Obatampa promo. Look inside your Nido 23 grams promo sachet for a code. Dial *380*11# and follow the prompts for a chance to win big. This advert is FDA approved.
Hello? Yo, bro! SG Ghana has done it again. Low interest rates on loans this year too. Yatisubium!
Charlie, I did throw inside. Let me call you back.
Call SG Ghana rather. Collect loan and buy car, my guy. Low, very low interest rates on loans this year too. It's difficult to keep good news to yourself, especially when it can transform your life and those close to you. SG Ghana went low on interest rates last year, and this year we are even lower. Yes, Yatisubium. Get the money you need to turn your dreams into a reality. Visit any SG Ghana branch near you and speak to our dedicated staff about the amazing Yatisubium loans today. You can also call 0302-214-314 for more details.
Ojo, it's 3 a.m. What now?
Yatisubium, oh, Yatisubium. Okay, bye. Societe Generale Ghana. The future is you.
Wafu.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you. And happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
All right. So today we have a few questions, okay? All right. So this is all about some work the Fourth Estate has done, right? They've discovered that government signed an 84 million Ghana cedi contract with Busy Internet. You remember that company?
Yes, I do.
Yes. So they signed a contract in December 2019 with Busy Internet to install internet infrastructure in over 700 senior high schools and over 300 Ghana Education Service offices across the country, okay? So over 1,000 locations. Now, apart from this 84 million cost of installation, they were also going to receive some 6.3 million Ghana cedis every month for maintenance and data provision to these schools, okay, for a 5-year period. Okay. Now, the contract even says that if any school doesn't receive internet for more than 15 days, the ministry will not pay for that school or office. You know, the monthly payments.
Yeah.
Yes. It won't happen. Okay. Now, in spite of all kinds of monitoring systems and everything, the Fourth Estate discovered, following an RTI request, which the Ministry of Education, complied with by giving them a list of schools that they have paid for between January 2020 and July 2023. That list included schools that didn't have internet. Yeah. And the Fourth Estate actually visited over 50 schools between June and July 2023, and those schools didn't have internet at all at the time of their visit. For as long as 24 months, they had not had internet.
Wow.
Yes, but they were being paid by the ministry, according to Fourth Estate. The ministry denies all of this, by the way. They say, no, we have a very tight monitoring system. We don't pay unless internet is provided. So, it's become a he said, she said, and it's time for us to get to the bottom of it and discover.
Well, we should.
Yeah.
Frankly, I'm getting tired of these things, could you?
Every week.
Every week. There seems to be something.
Every week. It's a lot. It's
a lot. And there's something really wrong.
Yeah. And you see, this is the time when we can't afford these things.
Mm-hmm.
We can't. We don't have money. So really, it's important for us to find out what exactly happened here, and get to the bottom of it. It's enough. I don't think we can take anymore.
Oh, we've had enough, really.
Yeah. Okay, then. 6 a.m. news came to us thanks to Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you, which means it's time to gear up for the Joy Business Report. And that comes by the kind courtesy of Omnibasic Bank, at your service.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, Citi's rate of depreciation against dollar continues to slow significantly. Some banks were last week quoting 14 Citi's 99 pesos to the dollar. We'll tell you more. Also, government expected to sign agreement with bilateral creditors on debt restructuring in Paris next week after accepting final changes made by Ghana to the draft MOU. Plus, gold production for last year hit 4 million ounces as mining firms in Ghana realized almost $6 billion in revenue. But not all that money got back into the country. We'll tell you about it. Don't go anywhere. My name is Darryl Kwa. Thanks for being with us this morning. Hello to our friends listening from Koforidon on KT Radio. Government is expected to sign an agreement with bilateral creditors on debt restructuring next week. All the countries have accepted the final changes Ghana made to the draft Memorandum of Understanding sent to the Finance Ministry last month. Here's George Affe with the latest.
Joy Business understands that it is now left with just one country that is yet to give its full approval to government in terms of agreeing to the final terms put forward by Ghana. The bilateral creditors last month sent the draft Memorandum of Understanding on how the $5.4 billion debt should be restructured. Government went through that document and made some slight changes, which all the countries have accepted, with the exception of one. But we understand that from now to next week, that approval could be secured, paving the way for the signing to take place. We are also learning that the official signing ceremony will take place in Paris, France, through the Official Creditor Committee. The development will now pave the way for the IMF to set a date for its board to meet on Ghana before the end of this month and pass the country on the second review under the fund program, as well as disburse some $360 million to Ghana. But for some, it is not just about the IMF money, but how this development could trigger other donors to release some significant funding to Ghana and the resumption of some stalled infrastructure projects financed by these bilateral creditors.
George Affe with that report. The National Pensions Regulatory Authority has ruled out increasing the retirement age and the amount contributors pay to deal with sustainability concerns. There has been a strong push for a review from the current 60 years and increase the amount the contributors pay to deal with the sustainability of the SNIT's pension scheme. But Chief Executive of the authority, John Imbro, says dealing with the internal issues of SNIT will be enough to address these challenges.
If we are able to get the investments reorganized, okay, and then do things moving forward in a manner that will target very, let me say, some other investment that will unleash life, financial life into the scheme, then we might actually not be just thinking about increasing contribution rate and then retirement age and then also maybe perhaps reducing benefit in the.
That was Chief Executive of the National Pensions Regulatory Authority, John Imbro. Now, the city's rate of depreciation against the dollar continues to slow significantly over the past week. Some of the major commercial banks were last week offering 14 cities 99 pesos to the American greenback. Here's more in this report.
This significant reduction in the rate at which the city was depreciating against the dollar has been sustained for more than a week, compared to some 3 weeks ago, where the local currency was virtually depreciating significantly against the dollar every day. On the average, based on data from some of the major commercial banks 2 weeks ago, it was trading at around 15 cedis 20 pesos. However, it has dropped to about 15 cedis 10 pesos. But if earlier data that we picked up from some of the banks are anything to go by, then the development can be linked to the decline in demand for dollars by corporates. The Bank of Ghana, on the other hand, has also been active on the market. Others also want to link this to the fact that the market has started responding to recent measures outlined by government as well as the Bank of Ghana to stabilize the cedi.
That was a Business Desk report this morning on the currency market. The dollar going for 15 cedis 5 pesos. That's the average quote for majority of the banks. That's what they are offering their retail clients. Also, the British pound going for 19 cedis 38 pesos. The euro 16 cedis 50 pesos. In other news, total gold production in the country for last year reached 4 million ounces. The amount of money earned by members of the Ghana Chamber of Mines as export revenue also hit almost $6 billion. However, only $4.2 billion was repatriated. Speaking at the annual general meeting of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, newly sworn in President Michael Edem Akafia noted that reviewing the country's tax laws can help attract more investments into the sector.
Our exploration activities are hampered by, fiscal measures such as VAT on the activities of exploration. And in fact, that ties into the earlier response I gave about the timeline between when you start a greenfield project, especially in Ghana's case, the last record of it, the Kaduna Namdini project, 11 years in the making. And so it gives you an idea about the fact that we are not having enough in the pipeline as far as the future of, the growth of the industry is concerned. So that is particularly significant because then that would make us more competitive than we've been in previous years. And hopefully we'll be able to attract some of that foreign direct investment in the sector that we lost to our peers in the sub-region.
President of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Michael Edem Akafia. Now, as government marks Green Ghana in the month of June, some financial analysts have pointed out the need to protect the environment when exploiting natural resources to avert a boycott by the international community. Financial analyst Dr. Benjamin Amwa has urged government to design a long-term environmental policy to protect Ghana's natural resources, such as gold and oil, to guarantee foreign income. Speaking to Joy Business, Dr. Amwa said the lack of such policies could also deny the country an opportunity to access green funding.
Once you go into gold and other natural resources to support your currency, there are environmental concerns in how we are going to mine the gold, the crude oil to build the reserve. Do we have enough environmental safety nets to make sure that these minerals will be mined in such a way that it doesn't compromise on the quality of the environment, especially in a world that we are going green and concern on environmental issues are very much, a concern to everyone.
That was financial analyst and lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Benjamin Amwa. Now, Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy, Benjamin Boakye, has raised concerns about the security of Ghana's power sector. Mr. Boakye argues the politicization of the sector jeopardizes the reliable supply of affordable power over the next 5 years. He expressed these concerns at the West Africa Mining and Power Expo in Accra.
Relocation of car power to the western region. It was supposed to happen even before that ship came to Ghana. It should have docked in Takoradi, but we slept on the job. We had ENI spending $7 billion to produce gas. What we needed to do was there's an existing pipeline, just invest in compressors to reverse flow the gas. We couldn't do that until ENI itself finished the $7 billion project, then took on the reverse flow to complete it for us. And we're sitting and waiting. So if anybody asks me for an assurance of where we would be 5-10 years, looking at the document that we have today, I would advise you to go look for your own power, your own cheaper power.
All right, Benjamin Boakye there, Executive Director of the Africa Center for Energy Policy. Turning to the money market now, government recorded a 19.4% oversubscription of Treasury bills auction as demand for the short-term instruments rebounded. This was captured in the latest auction results from the Bank of Ghana. Interest rates, however, remain stable. Here's more.
Government got 5.256 billion Ghana cedis from the sale of the short-term instrument. The majority of the bids came from the 91-day T-bills. 3.39 billion Ghana cedis, representing 64.67%, were tendered. The uptake was the same as the bids tendered. Similarly, 1.689 billion Ghana cedis came from the 182-day bill. All the bids were accepted. For the 364-day bill, 167.05 million Ghana cedis of the bids were tendered, and all were accepted. Meanwhile, interest rates remained stable across the yield curve. The yield on the 91-day bill remained at 25.03%. That of the 182-day bill stood at 26.93%. For the 364-day bill, the interest was 27.92% compared to 27.90% the previous week.
All right, let's turn to some more news for you. The Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System, GIPS, says it will be embarking on some form of advocacy to promote the use of its various digital payments systems like the eSwitch and Ghana Pay. This is to ensure that physical cash transactions become minimal across the country. Chief Executive of GIPS, Achi Hesse, disclosed this to Joy Business after receiving an award at the just-ended 13th Ghana Information Technology and Telecom Awards in Accra.
I think we are at a stage of the development where we need to focus on usage.
And when we talk about usage, we're talking about collaboration, we're talking about engaging with the whole sectors of the economy. I remember when we started, we were dealing with banks, but now we are dealing with fintechs, we are dealing with the mobile money companies, we are dealing directly with corporates to ensure that you grow usage for the country. And I believe that that's where we are headed.
Chief Executive of the Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System, Achi Hesi there. I want to bring you an update on the stock market. GCB Bank and Standard Chartered Bank will record gains on the Ghana Stock Exchange this week. This is based on the demand-supply dynamics of the market. Let's hear from Grace Munayan of Data Bank Research on how your stocks will fare this week.
Last day's trading concluded on a positive note with price gains in 3 equities. The gainers were GCB Bank, SIC Insurance, and Ben's Oil Palm Plantation. However, New Gold ended the week as a sole decliner. Accordingly, the Ghana Stock Exchange Composite Index climbed 0.49% weekly, to a year-to-date gain of 20.51%, whereas the Data Bank Stock Index gained 1.81% weekly, to a year-to-date gain of 19.71%. Aggregate turnover totaled 5.8 million Ghana cedis from the exchange of 1.2 million shares across 22 counters. New Gold was the most active counter, accounting for 49% of the weekly turnover. This week, we expect GCB Bank and Standard Chartered Bank to record some gains based on demand and supply dynamics of the market. For Joy Business Reports, Grace Monanyun of Data Bank Research.
All right, and just before we conclude, thank you, Kojo. Just before we conclude, an update on the commodity market. Gold is trading at $2,293 an ounce after going down marginally from yesterday's trading. Crude oil going for $79.69 a barrel. Gold also selling at $9,163 a ton after a gain of almost $80 from the previous trade. That's it for the Joy Business Report. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Thanks for listening, everyone. The Super Morning Show continues with Kojo Yankson and the team. And I just need to congratulate George Kwe and Ashoko for great production.
You went to see it?
I went to see it, The Legend of Akusika.
Yes.
Top quality.
Yeah, I saw it last night.
Oh, you did?
I was blown away.
Wow. You saw the waterfall, the creativity on the stage?
First time that has ever happened anywhere in Africa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The waterfall, I mean, not just the waterfall. Did you notice that the gods at the beginning had holograms? That one of them had holograms.
I noticed that.
Coming out of his hands.
Yes.
I mean, the level of sophistication and technology that they've infused into that play is amazing. They can't end now. They have to have some more.
Yeah, they have to have
some more because so many people will love to see this.
Yeah, exactly.
Adoma was a revelation. Wonderful performance by her. Honestly,
I think I am officially in love with stage plays.
Yeah, that was something else. Something else.
Meantime, the countdown is on tomorrow. The party.
Tomorrow is the day. Yes. Thank you for reminding the nation. Yes, you have done your civic duty by informing the nation of the importance and significance of tomorrow, the 11th of June.
When the legend was born.
Amen.
The legend of Kojo Yankson.
The legend of Kojo Sika. All right. Listen, stay with us. Maverick City.
Oh.
Yeah?
I love Maverick City.
Yeah. This one. Bless Me.
All right.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Yeah, good weekend.
If you take away the ECG unexplained power cuts,
this thing is happening again.
Unexplained power cuts.
So, did you join the Doom Summer Stop Vigil?
No, I didn't. I didn't.
It was not a perfect opportunity for you to immediately put out a power and enjoy them there. Mindful of the fact that you live in the enclave.
Yeah, it was an interesting turnout. And of course, look, this is what we are here for, to continue asking that question. When you told us that this is over, what did you mean? Was it the one tanker? Was that what you meant by this is over? Because that one there, Ebesa, I mean, it won't last 2 months.
We have written a right to information request to the ministry, asking what plans they put in place, how much provision they have made in terms of the provision of the fuel, and all of that. They have acknowledged the letter.
Okay.
Hopefully they will give us response soon.
How much time do they have?
They had 14 days, but somewhere in between the 14 days, they wrote instead of responding, they wrote to acknowledge.
So does that reset the clock?
It shouldn't.
For the 14 days.
It shouldn't at all. But I don't know that anyway. So we waited on them. When the time expires, we may ask the people to reactivate the process anyway.
We hear them.
We need to start doing the countdown.
Yeah, no, it's important. Yes, because it's as if we let it slide, then everything else goes back to... you can't even understand how we operate.
And a listening government needs to understand that Doomso is trauma to Ghanaians.
It's true.
It is trauma to Ghanaians. It's not a political issue. It's a well-being, an emotional and physical and health issue. So please, let's not play with it. Let's not, mismanage people's expectations. Let's tell the truth. If anything, under promise and over deliver.
That's true.
It's much better because, Charlie, it's not a joke. It's not a joke.
Now, you can't do an event without having a standby generator. Yeah, it will be irrational on your side not to do so. Anyway, the Drive Safe campaign is brought to you by Join News and the Multimedia Group and supported by Toyota Superior Quality. Kojo, today, because I was in Cape Coast and you were also in Cape Coast over the weekend, and it's been a long while since I went to Cape Coast, so perhaps I was just shocked by the experience. But it's not possible to count 18 cars trying to do illegal overtaking when they know truly they cannot see ahead of themselves and still attempt to do so. So most of the time they are caught in between meeting the new car and finding a space in front of other cars. Listen, I don't know if we can change the attitude of our drivers or you fix cameras on that stretch so that we arrest them and prosecute them. Alternatively, please put dual roads there and make sure that the small stretch that this is happening, we clear. If we don't do so, I am convinced a lot more people are going to die on that stretch for no reason.
But that is the cause of all those accidents we see on that stretch.
Yes.
Right? That is it. That's the cause. And when accidents happen on that stretch, the fatalities are just, they are huge. The numbers are huge.
Yes.
Because the speed at which these accidents happen, your chances of survival are slim to none.
Yes.
You see, and the sad thing is, I don't know what. It's because of the impatience of drivers. You see, the design of that road, if you've traveled it often enough, you will realize from after the craziness of Kaswa to Winneba, there are lots and lots of straight stretches. So if you want to overtake there, it's safer, right? You can see far ahead of you. You know whether there's a car coming or not. From Winneba to Apam, still lots of straight stretches. From Apam to Mankesim, not so much. Many more curves. And from Mankesim to Cape Coast, there's almost no straight stretch. It's almost all curves, right? So if you know this, you moderate your driving accordingly. But people get impatient. So if you're on a straight stretch and you're trying to overtake, but there are cars coming, you get impatient. So the next curve, you think, I'll just do it quickly here and go. That's where you die. That's where you die because the people coming are speeding. And you have just accelerated to overtake. That's death.
Of course.
So whichever way, somebody ought to find a solution to this problem, because we will just be reducing almost by 80% the amount of accidents on that stretch anyway.
True.
Yeah. We can now learn how to say it right. It is brought to you by Kingdom Books. A Kingdom quality and affordability are their hallmarks. And Societe Generale Bank Ghana. The future is you.
Something must be done.
You say either. I say either.
I hope you've had a good weekend. Mine was frustrating. I had problems with my new tablet. I followed the instructions to the letter, but it just wouldn't work. Now, I hope you noticed I said to the letter and not to the latter. That is the correct expression. Doing things to the letter is an expression often used in reference to following instructions. It means carrying them out with great attention to the minutest detail. And since instructions are usually made up of sentences and words, the minutest detail would be the letters that make up the words. Hence, to the letter, not to the latter. Now, I'm sure it'll be easy for us all to remember. From now on, it's not to the latter, it's to the letter. That is how you say it right.
Let's call it home.
To the letter. All right. Well, listen, before we get into the news review brought to us by Syntex Tank, You're Strong, You're Tough, and Access Bank, more than banking, it was an interesting Saturday. I watched Newsfile in Cape Coast in between the project I was working on. And there were some very, very fascinating thoughts shared. Of course, they spent some time talking about the contract, for 5G. But before that, they delved back into the ambulance case. Let's hear a quick wrap.
Something. Let's be honest with ourselves. From the very beginning of the proceedings all the way to the time Satofosi closed his case, who has introduced an issue that he hasn't been given fair hearing in the matter? Even when Jakpa himself started mounting the box, he had the tape with him. Indeed, the tape was there. This tape that he relies on now at this stage to try to cause confusion into all of us and to take our minds off, this tape was there. This tape, according to them, was recorded some few days or so when he had mounted the box. So if he found the tape relevant, the tape was relevant to disproving this case or show some confusion in the Attorney General's case or whatever it is, why did he not at that time file for leave to amend the witness statement that, look, I think that this particular information is relevant to me, showing that my innocence. This particular tape, something, it's a red herring for Godfrey Dame to be strongly advised by a judge as Attorney General to stay away from a criminal matter he is prosecuting. And the judge gave her grounds. She says, I strongly advise you to do so to protect justice and so that the public will have confidence that matters before the court are only determined in the court and not elsewhere. This is the most damning verdict ever given by a court against any Attorney General from the days of Geoffrey Bink. Right. And it shows what a disgrace Godfrey Dame is.
Right. The Attorney General is not doing justice to the whole nation. Mind you, the Attorney General under our Constitution is the guardian and protector of the principle of justice. So he's the guardian and defender of the public interest. Now, here we are. If you listen to Richard Jakpa, he kept saying to the Attorney General, you and I, we've been discussing this matter at my cousin's house. He doesn't tell us the number of times that the Attorney General, Godfrey Dame, and he, Richard Jakpa, met in Jakpa's cousin's house. But it's a number of times. That is one. Then in the course of the conversation, which was a private conversation between the two of them, we hear Richard Jakpa say, ask the Attorney General, how you want me to do what you're bidding? How I should go about answering questions? How I should go about answering questions? My brother, this amounts to coaching and it's a serious offense under our law. It amounts to contempt of the court. It amounts to obstruction of justice, which is also a criminal offense under our law. Under the Constitution, any such offenses amounts to contempt of court, for which the Attorney General can be attached. I'm surprised that the defense has up to now not brought an application to attach the body or person of the Attorney General. Let him face the wrath of the law. What he has done is contempt of court, pure and simple, and he must be made to suffer for it.
Yeah. So a selection there of opinions on this Attorney General malarkey. Thoughts?
Hopefully we get to see what happens subsequently. The NDC had hinted that they were looking at it and may go back. What did I say, NDC? The people in the case, because of the following by the NDC.
Yes.
You may suggest the entire political party. The people in the case will have to look at the merits of that particular decision by the court, then proceed with it. Now, whether or not they want to go back into it, because there are still some people who believe that there's an issue that ought to be dealt with properly. In fact, there are still some people who believe that the Attorney General still, even though he was given an advice he could wish away or throw into the dustbin, as he proceeded to do subsequently, he should stay away from the case. As to whether all of these will have an impact on the final determination of the case, one thing is quite certain. No matter how this goes, some will still carry with them the impression that our Attorney General has acted inappropriately. And there are certain ways that does not coincide with his role as a justice minister, and that is problematic. You see this being drummed in right from the beginning up to this time. How he's able to purge himself of that, I'm not sure. I do not even know. But it will still carry along with that, no matter which way the judgment will go.
Well, for me, I think that the judge in the ruling, the only parts she found challenging with the conduct of the AG was the angle relating to the AG asking Japa to go and get a report to suggest that he was unwell, and for that reason was not going to be able to stand trial. That's the only time the judge had issues with that. Apart from that, in the opinion of the judge, she didn't find anything wrong with what transpired as far as the recording is concerned, and actually gave a roadmap if they want to resolve this matter, and that they could go to the General Legal Council. So that is the only part that the judge found to be an issue. Apart from that, as far as the judge is concerned, the AG did not do anything wrong. Well, the substantive case is there. Tuesday they will go back to court to continue with the cross-examination. The judge has given indication that she hopes to conclude this case by July. Let's wait and see how the matter that took place outside of the court influenced the final decision.
I mean, the judge, you can well imagine, is concerned about whether any of these things affect the ability of the court to administer justice. That is her interest, right? And you have to understand. You have to look at it from her perspective. The Attorney General has pretty much completed the presentation of his case. And that has been done without, at any point, Richard Jakpa or Ato Forson suggesting that, an injustice is being done them. It was only at a point when the Attorney General made a comment. He wasn't even the one cross-examining Jakpa, but he made an intervention during the cross-examination of Jakpa by Ato Forson's lawyer. It was only at that point that this whole matter came out. So the judge is trying to figure out whether, look, this affects the presentation of the Attorney General's case, which has been concluded. At this point, the only thing remaining is his cross-examination of Jakpa. So the real benefit of all of this brouhaha is how the people outside the court see it. That's the real benefit here. Okay, and of course the NDC is the beneficiary.
because the impression has been heavily created that something is wrong with how the court proceedings are going. And so, well, yeah. Anyway, let's get to the headline, shall we?
Yes, the Daily Graphic is reporting this morning. SNIC contributors gain automatic NHIS migration. Yes, so if you're a SNIC contributor, you are going through automatically. And Nation records first Wilson's disease at Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
What is that?
So Wilson's disease when lead, right? Lead copper accumulates in organs. So it's a very rare disease. It hardly happens. And they recorded it at the Children's Hospital, so the pediatric unit. Somebody died from it. It is treatable, but when you have copper accumulating heavily in organs and affecting the function of the organ, it becomes problematic.
What is this, galamsey or what?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Mostly, your body is able to get rid of some of the metals that are accumulating in it. But this one, because of a genetic defect, so you're unable to do so. Then there's accumulation, then it affects you. And they're saying that, well, it's treatable, but it is shocking that we have not seen that happen in this republic or anywhere else. So our very first one at Kolebu is what they are talking about here. The last story on the front page is historic royal visit. Gamanche, Asante dipping bond. So yesterday, there was a massive deba. If you were around Kanishi, you would have realized that, for example, at the Gamanches Palace around Kanishi, and the gathering reflected, according to this report here, the diversity of the Ghanaian society when the Asantini visited the Gamanche. Let's not forget that when we had ban on drumming and dancing, right? The Gamanche spent some time in Kumasi. You could recall that many of the 25th anniversary events by the Asantini had the Gamanche in attendance. Yes, his Rolls Royce too was very popular on the ground.
Right.
Yes. So, I mean, it was a fantastic display of culture. From both ends, with all the people involved in all of that. Well, Samuel Dami says my time is up, but the back page, Kotoko deepens RTU Spain by 2-0.
Right, so the Ghanaian Times sustained Green Ghana project gains. President Akufo-Addo urges citizens. There's also a very interesting and important story on the front page of the paper. We can't guarantee safety of most animal products on sale, and this is the veterinary service warning. And they say that members of the public have been advised to take responsibility for the animal products they consume to protect their health. According to the veterinary service directorates of the ministry, it could not guarantee the safety of most animal products on the market due to the level of public resistance it continued to face in the discharge of its mandate as well as resources consumed. It says that you are what you eat. So when buying food, especially animal products, and you are told this animal is not in good condition, it is not from recognized sources, it's unhealthy for consumption, and you buy because it's cheap, it's your health you are putting at risk. Greater Accra Regional Veterinary Director Dr. Joseph Kofi Abu caution, and some statistics to back this. So it says that more than 600 million people fall ill and 420,000 die each year from eating contaminated food, according to the World Health Organization.
You know, this is one of the big and sad differences between Ghana and other countries, where we don't protect our consumers. I mean, there's literally no real...
Very little protection.
Yes. Very little protection for consumers. So the state can actually say this, that look, meat. There's no meat in this country that we can guarantee.
There's a law.
So you eat meat or even eggs at your own risk.
The Public Health Service. Yes. The Public Health Act says nobody can sell to you unwholesome food. That should presume that every food that you are buying should be wholesome. You get one point. So that will also presume that there are people who are checking and doing market service to find out that the people who are selling food to you, they are licensed to do so. One of the biggest problems I've had in this republic is that there are people who are providing food service and yet do not have the qualification to provide food service. They have turned food service into other trading forms. That some can inherit it from their parents. That yes, in our house we can cook kinky. So automatically we are kinky experts. As to whether or not that kinky lives up to the standard, that anybody should be consuming that. Imagine anybody attempting to poison on a large scale, a grouping in an area who consume that particular food, and how easy it will be.
So let me tell you this. I met with Frank Millen. Great guy. This guy, he distills and sells Apu. But this is proper, factory standard, FDA approved, exported. In fact, they've just won some awards recently for this product, this Apu product. Now, he tells me that when he started, he simply followed the recipe. He was taught the distillery recipe by the Apu makers. And he made some and sent to FDA for approval. They sent it back telling him that it contained contaminants, carcinogens, unfit for human consumption. Yes, he had to reinvent the whole process to get rid of the things that are poisoning people daily in Apu. And now he's got it to a standard that can be exported, it's approved, and it's safe, and it's drinkable, and everything. But it just tells you that every other person who is selling it with no check whatsoever.
They're selling poison, to put it right. So the daily statement: 52 million trees planted in 4 years. Akufo-Addo demands intensified action on climate change, biodiversity loss. NAPO laws efforts as united ethnic groups, and it comes with a picture of him and the Gaman chair. Second lady launches ASCA to promote climate change, and Ghana still deal with Korea to improve road network. That's on the front page of the daily statement. There's also a very important question that they are asking whether Accra House of Folk is going on relegation.
Yes, last week it was a question that was on trial. I mean, some of us are sad that this may happen. Clearly,
what a time we live in.
Even though it's a substandard team, even though it's not really a serious team that should not be playing any serious tournament.
Calm yourself.
Yes. We are worried about the future of Accra House of Folk. We should start prayers and fasting. I am beginning that today. Anyway,
on behalf of Mama Vifaya Ben.
Yeah, let me quickly go through. Or if you want the daily guide, is reporting this morning. Isaac Osei joins running mate race. It's not a bit too late. Yeah, so Isaac Osei is now part of the quest to be Mahmoud Bamia's running mate.
When they say he's joined, have they opened application at the party headquarters?
But mostly you make overtures. You understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So
but it's too late.
I think Isaac Osei is a fine gentleman.
If the name is coming at the end of the month,
yes, he's running mate material. Unlike, anyway, now the daily guide is reporting this morning. Also, Bamia storms MPP World Bank, and Ghana Brunei discuss common bid, and Gamache calls for unity ahead of elections. That's also the front page of the daily guide.
Okay, the online review now brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest, Goyle Good Energy, Yenara India, and G&G Technical Services, celebrating 30 years of providing backup power in Ghana.
Now, life's unpredictability shouldn't cast doubt on your future. You need to gain peace of mind by securing your future with Zenith Bank's bank assurance plans, whether it's an educational plan to safeguard your child's academic future, a life plan to give you and your loved ones financial support in the event of critical illness, permanent disability and death, or a farewell plan to cover funeral expenses. Zenith Bank's bank assurance plans, underwritten by Prudential Life Insurance, provides absolute peace of mind. Secure your future now and that of your family with Zenith Bank bank assurance today. Sign up at any Zenith Bank branch nationwide or visit zenithbank.com.gh for more information. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Good Energy has hit the road with exciting choices to energize your vehicle. It's giving you more options to take you further. Watch the space for your choice. Goyle Yana Yedia. Mahama vows to retrieve corruptly acquired funds and properties. That and more on my joint line. Time for the BBC. Brought to you by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us and Old Mutual.
Coming up after the news from the BBC World Service, it's Hard Talk with me, Stephen Sacker. For 5 decades, Colombia was ravaged by political violence, cocaine cartels and corruption. Then came a peace deal with the main rebel group, the FARC, and 2 years ago, the election victory of a former guerrilla turned democratic politician, Gustavo Petro. A story of national recovery and redemption, Well, not necessarily. My guest is the renowned Colombian novelist Juan Gabriel Vasquez, who weaves powerful stories out of fact and fiction.
When I left Colombia in 1996, I was 23. I thought I was leaving because I wanted to become a certain kind of writer, and that was the Latin American tradition. With time, I understood that I was also fleeing the violence.
That's Juan Gabriel Vasquez on Hard Talk after the news.
Hello, I'm Emily Thomas with the BBC News. President Emmanuel Macron's decision to call a snap parliamentary vote has caused political shockwaves in France. Raphael Glucksmann of the Socialists said he was flabbergasted. Only the far-right National Rally welcomed the decision. Here's our Europe correspondent, Nick Beake.
Last night, President Macron said that to be French is to write history, not to be governed by it. It could well be that we find out in less than a month's time he's made an historic, monumental error. Having said that, it could be that he's taking the best possible course of action in the circumstance in which he finds himself, in that the far right have surged in France, and maybe he's thinking that these elections for the European Parliament don't necessarily translate into votes in the French national election, and maybe there is the will and the capacity to build a coalition to keep out the far right in France, even if they top the polls.
The president of the European Commission says her centre-right alliance will act as a bastion against the extremes within the European Parliament after a surge in support for nationalist parties. Ursula von der Leyen said the vote, which leaves her centre-right European People's Party the biggest bloc in the Assembly, showed that the centre was holding. Here's our Europe editor, Katja Adler.
The hard right performed well across the European Union, but centrists kept hold of the majority of seats. So to influence EU policy, right-wing nationalist parties will have to unite to give them more clout. This could prove difficult. They broadly agree on wanting tougher migration and laxer environmental rules, but they're deeply divided over a number of other issues, such as how far to support Ukraine and whether to disrupt the EU or try to change it from within.
Barely a third of Bulgarians have chosen to vote in the country's 6th parliamentary election in 3 years. The country is the poorest and most politically unstable in the European Union. Exit polls suggest the former Prime Minister Boyko Borisov's centre-right Gerb party leads with about 25% of the vote. New immigration rules have taken effect in Japan, making it easier to deport asylum seekers whose application has failed. Japan has traditionally been reluctant to accept migrants, having granted refugee status to just over 300 people last year. Here's Shaima Khalil.
Those who have submitted 3 or more asylum applications are now at risk of deportation under Japan's revised Immigration Control and Refugee Recognition Act if they fail to present reasonable grounds to support their case to stay. Previously, Japan could not deport a foreign national whose application for refugee status was being processed, but the changes were made as authorities believed the system was being abused by those making repeated claims to remain in the country. The revised legislation faced pushback from opponents who argued it could result in the repatriation of people who are at risk of persecution in their home countries.
BBC News. Honda has become the latest Japanese car maker to be visited by government inspectors in Tokyo investigating flaws in safety certification. The Transport Ministry says the problems at Honda relate to noise tests and the specified weight of cars. Japanese officials have already visited the headquarters of Toyota, Suzuki and Yamaha. The director of the UN World Food Programme says her organisation has paused distribution of humanitarian aid into Gaza via a US-built pier, citing safety concerns. Cindy McCain said that following Israel's military operation on Saturday to rescue 4 hostages, 2 WFP warehouses in Gaza were hit by rockets and a member of staff injured. The Israeli operation took place amid intense fighting in which many Palestinians were killed. A team of British scientists have used a fluorescent dye to help identify cancerous prostate cells during surgery that would otherwise be invisible to the naked eye. The researchers hope the procedure could reduce the chance of the disease returning. Here's Aurelia Foster.
Some cancer cells can be difficult to spot and they can get left behind in surgery, causing the disease to return. In this early stage trial, the dye was injected into 23 men with prostate disease before their surgery. It was mixed with a protein which makes it stick to prostate cancer cells. The dye makes cancer cells glow under a special light. Researchers said in many of the patients they found and removed cells they would not have seen without this technology. Larger scale trials are now underway.
French Guiana becomes the first French overseas territory to welcome the Olympic torch ahead of the Paris Games at the end of July. The relay began in the South American stage of its journey in the heart of the Amazon rainforest, with the flame carried downriver in a traditional canoe. In all, about 11,000 torchbearers will take part. BBC News.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Good energy hits the road with exciting choices to energize your ride, giving you more options to take you further. Watch this space for your choice.
Goil, yeah.
What name brightens the streets, homes, and businesses of Ghana? What company has been providing world-class backup power to Ghanaians for 30 years?
G&J Technical Services.
Final answer?
Yes, G&J, final answer.
Correct.
G&J is celebrating 30 years of providing backup power in Ghana. As the largest supplier of world-class generators in the country, we have been the backbone of Ghana's alternative power industry by delivering the best sales, maintenance, and after-sales solutions the nation has ever seen. We've done it for 30 years, and we promise that the future will be even brighter. Reach us in Accra on 030-268-9178 or 9179 and 020-222-2204 all the way to 2220. And in Kumasi on 020-222-236 or 020-222-2220.
Hey kids, get ready for an exciting announcement. Kidsville is bringing the fun to Spintex with the grand opening of our new branch near Noble House on June 15th, 2024. Join us for a day filled with laughter, games, and surprises as we celebrate the arrival of Kidsville in your neighborhood. We are offering an amazing 15% discount to all our wonderful patrons who grace the special occasion. That's not all. You get to meet your favorite celebrities who will be joining us to make this day more memorable. From fashionable kids wear to exciting toys, educational games, balloons, and everything you need for the perfect party, be there on June 15th. For more information and inquiries, contact us on 0274 066 666. Don't miss out on the fun, folks. Save the date and spread the word. Kidsville, where every kid's dream blossoms.
Dear business owner, congrats on not giving up on your business. You deserve a medal, and your business deserves to be taken to the next level. In fact, it's about time you run a Zenith Bank SME account so you and your business can enjoy the perks of the Zenith SME Business Card. Oga and Oga Madam status.
The Zenith SME Business Card is a Visa debit card for making secure payments for goods and services. Enjoy great benefits such as free customized digital SME training, free marketing toolkits, access to Visa practical skills training, and more. Unlock the potential of your business today. Visit any Zenith Bank branch nationwide and sign up for the Zenith SME Business Card, the ultimate payment solution for SMEs. For more information, visit www.zenithbank.com.gh or call 0302 680-884 or 0307-086-370. Zenith Bank, in your best interests.
I am Ohinere Gifty Auntie.
You see, it always feels good when you receive that salary alert. I made a bold decision to invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan. And this means that I will get these alerts every month throughout retirement for the rest of my life. You too can retire on your own terms. So invest a lump sum in the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan today and enjoy guaranteed monthly income for life. Call Old Mutual on 050-453-4333 or visit oldmutual.com.gh to sign up today. Old Mutual, do great things every day.
Enimwa pop quiz. Are you ready?
Hit me.
Can you give me 3 words that start with omni?
Oh, that's easy. Omnibus, omnipotent,
Omniwana.
omnibus. The bank with a really nice signboard.
Hey, Radzi. You mean Omnibisic. OMNIBSIC. Omnibisic. Let me hear you say it.
Omnibisic.
Perfect.
Is that an abbreviation?
Not entirely. And it's not just a bank with nice signboards either. Omnibisic Bank is Ghana's fastest growing bank with innovative banking products and headquarters in Atlantic Tower at Airport City, Accra, as well as 40 branches across the country. Omnibisic Bank has the final word on excellent customer service delivery in Ghana.
Plus, they have the coolest signboard.
Yes, they do. And the coolest name, Omnibisic.
At your service.
This election, ask your favorite politicians about their plans for tackling climate change and improving access to water, sanitation, and hygiene. Let this define who you vote for. At WaterAid, we believe in the future where our leaders prioritize climate change, water, sanitation, and hygiene. Your vote can make this possible.
He's up bright and early, serving your premium morning radio show. The Morning Man. It's the Morning Man. Gojo Jackson.
its purpose. Why? Because it is supposed to give secondary schools internet access. But as we stand now, I can tell you for a fact about 60% of these secondary schools don't have internet. So if it's not working, why is the government still paying for this service? Why is the company busy internet if it is still in operation? Why are they still invoicing Ministry of Education for it to be?
You have a tax clearance, Senate clearance. You need to be registered with the Ghana Registrar General. You need to have a registration certificate as a business or going a business concern. If you miss any of this mandatory requirement, nobody should give you a contract. You can't win.
Wahala. So is it true? Is it true that the company that has been given a contract by the Ministry of Education to provide internet in secondary schools, senior high schools, and indeed Ghana Education Service offices has actually not been paying tax or SNIT contributions for their staff? Is it true that between 2018 and 2022, Busy Internet owed tax and SNIT to the tune of about 17 million Ghana cedis? Is it true? That's about 3 times the amount government is supposed to pay to them every month, by the way.
I am particularly concerned about whether or not these issues about not delivering on their responsibility and the project for which they are being paid is important. I am concerned about, because this is a big government promise. Remember that we'll put internet in all of the schools across the country, and sometimes we joke around it and say, no, that is an unfulfilled promise at the highest level. I am concerned about anybody being paid, because there are some people in this republic who have done work for God knows how long, and they are not getting a peso of the money. Some of them, we are told, have even died and left the money for government and any other
contractors
institution.
are crying.
Yes. So I get worried when there is an indication or some leaning that suggests that some people easily get their monies, even if they are not delivered on the job that they are supposed to do so. Yeah. But of course, those questions will have to be asked, and hopefully answers provided for each one of them, because it is public money. Yeah. Mostly public money is not treated like private money, or you do willy-nilly what you want to do with it, or whatever you feel disposed to actually do with it. Yeah, then you do so anyway.
Well, that's the question we will be answering today. We'll bring you some snippets of that investigation by the Fourth Estate. But in the meantime, start talking about it. Use the hashtag JoySMS.
Wake up to joy, joy, joy. Sunshine and joy in the morning time. Yeah. Wake up to the Super Morning Show. Yeah. Wake up to joy.
Now, a poorly maintained car engine can age faster, and that is why Total Energies offers specially formulated quartz engine oil with the age resistance technology. It's a breakthrough that ensures optimal performance for your engine and improves protection against mechanical wear by up to 74%, even under extreme temperatures and pressures. Choose quartz from Total Energies, because that is choosing the engine oil that keeps your engine running efficiently and effectively. Quartz, keep your engine younger for longer.
Now, G&J, your reliable alternative backup power solutions provider, is 30 years old. Now, we wish to thank all our cherished partners and customers for being part of this wonderful journey. As we embrace the future with brighter hopes, we look forward to providing you with the very best backup power service to your homes, offices, churches, and more. We are still undisputed the largest backup power supplier in the Republic of Ghana, and with our 24-hour service delivery, we are poised to give you the very best brands in backup power and after sales service. And from the Doomsor demonstration over the weekend, you certainly know that Doomsor is still lurking around. Now locate G&J in Accra off the Mortuary Road to Kolebu. Call G&J on 0302 689 178 or 0302 689 179 or 0202 222204. Now, if you're in Kumasi, these are the numbers you should be calling right now: 020 2222236 or 020 222220.
All right, Toyota users, get ready for a revolution. Now, if you want your Toyota engine to function optimally, there's only one choice: the Toyota Genuine Motor Oil. The Toyota Genuine Motor Oil has been rigorously tested and proven to be the best oil for your Toyota engine. Specially crafted to keep your Toyota engine running smoothly and efficiently, the Toyota Genuine Motor Oil is available at all Toyota Ghana branches across the country. Nothing makes your engine happier than Toyota Genuine Motor Oil. For bulk purchase or distribution, contact Toyota Ghana on 0302 429 801. Toyota Ghana Company Limited is proud to be associated with Joy FM and Joy News' Drive Safe campaign on the Super Morning Show. Toyota, superior quality.
And now to the businessman. If you're also a trader and parent, could you answer sending money to loved ones and business partners?
Yes.
Thanks to the Access Bank and PAPS partnership, you can now send money across border hassle-free. Now you can send money to pay for goods and services, make business transactions, and cover school fees. This across Africa without worrying about foreign exchange losses or delays. This is straightforward, secure, and keeps your mind at ease. Benefit from instant payments across Nigeria, Liberia, Gambia, Guinea, and Sierra Leone with zero foreign exchange hassle. When you send money in cedis, it will now be received in any other currency by the recipient without the middleman's currency, the dollar. For more information, visit our website ghana.accessbankplc.com or call our toll-free 0800 004400. For all your cross-border payments, visit any of our branches and PAPS it with Access Bank. Access Bank, more than banking.
All right, now don't forget to go to kingdomstoreonline.com and pick up the very best stationery, quality office essentials, equipment, and furniture, and pay for anything you like via Momo across all networks. Their delivery is quick and it's free if you're in Accra or Tema. Terms and conditions do apply. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
And I have some good news for you. If you're a shareholder of Societe Generale Bank Ghana, henceforth, subject to the necessary approval by the regulator, you now receive your dividends paid directly to your bank or mobile money accounts. Dividend payments will no longer be made using dividend warrants. All shareholders should update their records with the registrar and TAC with the shareholders' records like bank details and also email addresses, also your phone numbers, latest ones, including mobile phone numbers registered with mobile money. For Societe Generale Ghana shareholders with a Central Securities Depository account, contact your stockbroker and update your records with your bank details, your email addresses, and also your mobile phone numbers, including, let me stress that, phone numbers you have registered with mobile money. Societe Generale Ghana is committed to providing you sound financial solutions always. Societe Generale Ghana, the future is you.
All right, well, speaking of the future, we've got sports coming up, we've got birthdays, we've got lots and lots of stuff right here on the Super Morning Show, including Food for Thought with Uncle Ebo White. But in the meantime, on the hashtag JoySMS, we're talking about this busy internet contract and all the questions being raised. What are your questions about this contract? Put them up on X, use the hashtag JoySMS. We'll talk about them all right here on the show. Keep it locked. This is Joy 99.7 FM.
Then let's go home, shall we? Let's go where the entertainment is, where the passion is, where the laughter is, and sometimes even the tears too. Let's go where we feel safe enough to share our opinions
and Listen to it.
Where we do that embarrassing little dance to our favorite song. Let's go home, where the love, the care, and the joy live.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Imagine a world where your home or business is powered by the sun's boundless energy. Picture your rooftop transformed into a solar sanctuary, radiating with eco-friendly vibes and city-saving brilliance. Well, dream no more. With Standard Chartered's renewable energy loans, you can turn this dream into a dazzling reality. And guess what? Our renewable energy loans come at very low rates. That's right, we are not just offering loans, we are offering the keys to your solar-powered kingdom. Say goodbye to high electricity bills and step into a new world where every watt generated is a step towards a brighter, more sustainable future. So if you're ready to take control of your energy destiny and switch to solar today, give us a shout on any of the following phone lines: 050-153-5789, 050-153-5790, 0244-674154. Let's chart a course for a brighter tomorrow and make your solar dreams shine brighter than ever before. Standard Chartered, here for good.
Hello, cherished parents. Do you seek quality international education for your child at the most affordable cost in Ghana?
Then look no further. International School of Accra is the best institution for your child now.
ISA provides fabulous educational opportunities for your child using the Cambridge and the IB diploma curricula. We also provide tuition for SAT exams and place students in their university of choice anywhere in the world.
Our experienced IB trained teachers will transform your child into an academic champion, morally upright, and a professionally skilled individual.
Plus, our fees for the IB diploma program is the most affordable in Ghana. Locate ISA at Roman Ridge, Accra, inside the Jack and Jill School.
Or call 0242-586-062 or 0262-907880 or visit our website www.isaghana.com.
International School of Accra, inspiring excellence, building character.
Birthday messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go. And Bank of Africa, the African bank with global reach. Bank of Africa, as strong as a group, as close as a partner. All right, I've got a couple of birthday wishes I to see. do today. Yes, today. You know, the John the Baptists to my birthday are celebrating their birthdays today. So let me mention a very happy birthday to Keziah Metal Nunu. Did you know that's how to say the name? Kezia. How do you say it?
Kezia.
It's Keziah.
I know somebody who calls their own Kezia.
Yeah, there are some people who say that. So maybe she's a Kezia. We don't know. But it's her birthday. She works at Ecobank Kaswa. A special 96th birthday to my big sister, Mrs. Edith Colley of Ogle Street, Bubuashi. And this is from our very own Mr. Daniel Boyfew.
Oh, okay. So this one says, belated happy birthday to Kweku Owusu Frimpong of Olam Agri Ghana, supply chain manager, from your friend, group captain in Kansa Jan. All stylists, your wife Nanama, and your wonderful children, Kweku Owusu Frimpong, Mama Sewa, and all friends and family in Accra and Koforidua. This is a happy birthday to ex-warrant officer class 1. Kwekuba of Kaswa. May God continue to bless you abundantly. From your wife, XWO1 Agatha in Cancer. Hey, ex-warrant officer class 1. Happy birthday. Your wife to XW1. This house, if you go inside, everybody will be military. Your children, Dora, Irene, Hannah, Alfred, Gifty, as well as group captain David in Cancer and family.
Yeah. All right. Happy birthday to Joe Spencer, Isaac Yabua, and Sir Vehelm Lutrot
Kwabena Apia Dankwa, Desmond Nibote Ehia, Olivia Kangoyiri, Mame Isaba Johnson, Togbe Charles, Besiwa Forson, and 2 people whose Facebook pages are very interesting, Belle Fleur and Mame Sewa Akonobia. Okay, the Joy Sports Center.
I had a very last one before you go to that one.
Okay.
Yes, this is Enoch Owusu-Kisi. Enoch is sales and marketing at AIB. Happy birthday, Enoch. Enjoy the day, my brother.
All right. The Joy Sports Center is brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go, Standard Chartered Bank,
here for good.
And DSTV.
It's your moment. Now, so folks, imagine a world where your home or business is powered by the sun's boundless energy. I mean, picture your rooftop transformed into a solar sanctuary, radiating with eco-friendly vibes and city-saving brilliance. Well, dream no more. Yes, friend, to dream no more. With Standard Chartered's renewable energy loans, you can turn this into a dazzling reality. And guess what? Our renewable energy loans come at extremely low rates. Well, that's right. We are not just offering loans, we are offering the keys to your solar-powered kingdom. Say goodbye to high electricity bills and step into a new world where every watt generated is a step towards a brighter, more sustainable future. So if you're ready to take control of your energy destiny and switch to solar today, give us a shout on any of the following phone lines: 050-153-5789. First number. Second one, 050-153-790. You should also note the very last one, 0244-674-154. Repeat, 0244-674-154. Now let's chat a cause for a brighter tomorrow and make your solar dreams shine brighter than ever before. Standard Chartered, here for good.
So did Kwame Nkrumah ever give a speech with this amount of animation?
Yes, it is a powerful.
Do you even have a bank account at Standard Chartered?
I am trying.
Anyway, accessing super reliable healthcare should be the topmost priority for you and your family, and that is why Muti Plus, powered by MTN, is giving you just that today. For a subscription fee of just 25 cedis a month paid on Momo, you can sign on to a health subscription plan that gets you access to unlimited in-store consultations with qualified healthcare professionals and over 160 covered medications and tests at participating pharmacies in the Ablekuma, Sakaman, Dansuman, Mamprobi, and Kaswa townships. Of course, the best part of it is that there's a dedicated nurse at the Muti pharmacy who can teleconference a doctor when you need it so that you can access the best consultation services. And to get this great product, all you have to do is download the Ayoba app and sign up today with your Momo account. So you download the Ayoba app and then you sign up with your Momo account. Take charge of your health conveniently and affordably. Sign up for Muti Plus, powered by MTN today. Fentwizzles.
Good morning, Kojo, and good morning to all of you. Welcome aboard to the Joy Sports Center with me, Tahiru Fento. Coming up.
Hi, Lina family. I just got first in high jump, All-American, and a personal best of 197. See you in the Olympics. Bye.
Yes, Ghanaian high jumper Rose Yeboah punches her ticket to the 2024 Olympic Games on a historic night where she also became the first ever female Ghanaian to win an NCAA title. And a bit later, Hazakas ladies are Women's Premier League champions for the 5th time in their history. But first, Black Stars, and they will be looking to make it 2 wins out of 2 when they take on the Central African Republic at 7 p.m. tonight at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in their 4th 2026 World Cup qualifying match. Before their final training session last night, head coach Otto Addo and Mohamed Kudus spoke to the press. Joy Sports' Victor Achutemaklo has more in this report from Kumasi.
Ghana's ticket to the 2026 World Cup could also be many families' magic bullets out of poverty. Although Ghana is yet to qualify for the tournament, the Black Stars are well aware of its socio-economic significance.
I mean, everybody wants to go there, and I can feel it in the training. Players are fighting for their spots, and we have to even stop them and calm them down sometimes. So I can really feel that how the players are eager to win and how the players want to give their all to qualify for this World Cup.
Beyond Otuado, Ghanaians are counting on players like Mohamed Kudus to reflect that appreciation on the pitch.
Place I find myself, we started playing from here in Ghana, so there's no excuses in it's difficult here, the weather and all of that, there's things that come into play, but the opponent face the same as well, so there's no excuse for that, but in every game I just try to do my best for the country and the team to get the 3 points.
But first, Ghana needs to beat the Central African Republic today, and Coach Otuado says his team is ready.
It's very, very difficult to beat them. We analyze them well. They are doing well, especially in their offensive transitions. Always dangerous. They played 1-1 against Mali, so we know what we have to expect. Despite the win, we can't relax now.
That's Otuado there, completing that Victor Achitamaklo report. Meanwhile, the Central African Republic, Raoul Savoy, was once again talking big ahead of tonight's encounter. From Kumasi, Joy Sports' Daniel Cranton reports.
You think I will come here and cry and say, oh, tomorrow, my God, my goodness, and so on? No.
Central African Republic head coach Raoul Savoy was his usual witty self ahead of his side's FIFA World Cup qualifier against Ghana's Black Stars on Monday. Last time he was here, he predicted Ghana to be knocked out of the AFCON at the group stages, and sadly for Ghana, he was right.
Oh, I said that if you play the way you play against us, the AFCON will be tough. And I was right or not? I was right or not? Thank you.
He, however, expects a much better Black Star side in Monday's game.
Same players, another coach, other story. I was talking about the AFCON qualifiers, and now World Cup is another story. And in football, I will say 7-8 months is a long, long time. Otto arrived on early this year. They did 2 games in March during the FIFA break, and we play also 2 games in Sri Lanka. Then stories are different, but the players will be at least the same in the two teams. For us, it will be a revenge.
Regardless, Savoy maintains he's confident his side can upset the Black Stars.
I think I'm confident because if I'm not, who will be confident? So you think I will come here and cry and say, oh, tomorrow, my God, my goodness, and so on. No, I'm confident, but humble. And I just want to tell you guys that just wait and see how the game will be tomorrow.
Hopefully, for Ghana's sake, Central African Republic's wishes do not come true.
Daniel Cranton's report. Now, after the win against Mali on Thursday, Ghana currently sits third in Group I with 6 points behind Madagascar and Comoros, only on goal difference. For all the big stories also from the other African World Cup qualifiers played over the weekend, here's a Joy Sports Desk report read to you by Adamu Bening Abdul Karim.
Habib Diallo scored the only goal as Senegal won 1-0 against Mauritania. The Teranga Lions are top of Group B with 8 points after 4 games. Lesotho won 2-0 at Zimbabwe to sit top of Group C with 5 points, while Nigeria are 5th in the group with 3 points after drawing 1-1 against South Africa. Cameroon pulled a shocking 4-1 win over AFCON quarter-finalist Cape Verde with Andre Onana saving a late penalty. Cameroon are top of Group D with 4 points. African champions Cote d'Ivoire are on a perfect run following a 1-0 win over Gabon to top Group F with 9 points. At 4 p.m. today, Egypt take on Guinea-Bissau at the 24th September Stadium. Nigeria will be seeking their first win of the qualifiers when they play away to Benin.
That's a Joy Sports Desk report. Let's go to the Ghana Premier League, where the relegation battle is intensifying. Hearts of Oak and Great Olympics yesterday played out a dramatic goalless draw at the Accra Sports Stadium, leaving both teams in search of wins in their final games of the season. To survive the drop, Great Olympics remain in the relegation zone with 41 points, while the Phobians are 1 point above them in 14th. Dreams FC are also in the mix. They have 42 points, but they've played 1 game less than those two. The House of Oak bosses Abubakar Ouattara is remaining rather philosophical about the Phobians' chances of surviving.
That is the question. I'm asking myself, if you are playing all your matches like that, I think it's not your position today. But it's part of the game. Yes, we are starting the preparation from Tuesday before we go to Beijing for the last match. We are trying your best. Up to now, the future is your leg, not from anybody. From us, we are going to fighting to get that victory to qualify.
The future is in their legs. It's in their hands. That's the Hearts of Oak boss there, Abubakar Watar. Meanwhile, the Olympics assistant coach is Orlando Wellington. He blamed the draw on the rush of his players to score.
You know, I understood the way they play was so intensive, and the level of the game, they just want to score a goal at all costs, which they have to. The patience is not there. Though we created chances to score, but we couldn't make it.
That's Wellington. Great Olympics will end the season at home against RTU, whose relegation has been confirmed following a 2-0 loss to Kotoko. They'll be going down alongside Bofokwa. Another side involved in the relegation dogfight is Karela. They beat champions Hamatex 4-2 yesterday in Nalarugu to go 2 points above the drop zone. Now, there was also the Women's Premier League playoff final. Hazakes ladies beat Ampem Dakwa ladies 2-1 at the University of Ghana Stadium to win a record-extending 5th title. Joy Sports' Lawrence Bedu watched the game and has this summary.
A season of difficulties after 2 years without winning the Women's Premier League title. Hazakes ladies have their hand on the title once again. It is familiar foes for them as they beat Ampem Dakwa ladies 2-1 at the University of Ghana Stadium. It was Mukarama and Veronica Bao who got onto the score sheet. Top scorer Ophelia Sewa grabbed the goal back for Ampem Dakwa ladies, but it wasn't enough as they succumbed to defeat. For Hazakes ladies, it is triumph, and then the next steps will be to qualify for the CAF Women's Champions League.
That's Lawrence Bedu there. Now, before the Women's Premier League final, Army ladies beat Police ladies 1-0 to win the Women's FA Cup title. Let's do some athletics now. In Ghanaian high jumper Rose Yeboah has qualified for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games after clearing a height of 1.97 meters to win the NCAA Women's high jump title in Eugene, Oregon on Saturday night. The former University of Cape Coast student, now competing for the University of Illinois, has also set a new national record and a new collegiate record to go along with her Olympic qualification. She becomes the first ever Ghanaian female athlete to win the NCAA championships.
It feels great to be the champion. Like, it wasn't easy, even though there was it was a competition between the 3 of us that was left, and actually I sighted my mind that I was coming to win, and unfortunately I won. So when I was coming, I just said I'm coming to have fun. Like, I wasn't in a competition with anybody, so I just came to have fun, and I won.
That's Rose Yeboah there. Congratulations to her. In the same competition, Abdurrashid Samini also booked his ticket to the Olympic Games in the men's 200 meters when he crossed the finish line to take 3rd position in the event with a time of 20.12 seconds. He's a former University of Ghana student, now competing for the University of South Florida. He finished 5th in the 100 meters as well with a time of 10.02 seconds, just missing out on the automatic Olympic qualification mark of 10.00 seconds in that event at the Olympic Games. Before we go, Carlos Alcaraz won the French Open title. Many thought he was destined to claim by edging a scrappy 5-set final against Alexander Zverev.
Well, all the Spanish players who have won this tournament and be able to put my name on that amazing list is something unbelievable, something that I dream about being in this position since we started playing tennis, since I was 5-6 years old, so it's a great feeling.
That's Alcaraz. In the women's draw, Iga Swiatek achieved the rare feat of winning a 3rd successive French Open women's title with a comprehensive victory over Italian 12th seed Jasmine Paolini.
It means a lot. This tournament has been, pretty surreal with its, beginning and with second round, and then, I was able to get my game better and better every match. So I'm really proud of myself.
And that's Iga Swiatek. And listen to this. Paolini, 17 years old. She is Italian. She actually has Ghanaian roots through her maternal grandfather, who lives in Copenhagen, is of Danish and Ghanaian descent. Yes, I know it's a bit of a long family tree tracing to Ghana, but Ghanaians are claiming her nonetheless.
We claim her in Jesus' name.
So she's been touted as the first Ghanaian to ever make the Grand Slam final. But yeah, her maternal grandfather has a Ghanaian mother, is what it is. So it's a long family tree.
A Ghanaian great grandmother.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. So they'll accept it nonetheless.
Indeed.
But anyway, that's all the sports this morning on the Joy Sports Center. I'm Fentu, Tahiru Fentu. Back to you, Kojo.
That's right. Thank you. All right. Now, listen, before we go for food for thought, let me remind you to keep tweeting. Use the hashtag JoySMS when you're posting on X. And we certainly want to know your thoughts on this contract, this busy internet contract that we've been discussing. Apparently, they won a government contract when they owed SNIT and taxes. Yeah, that's strange. Anyway, we're getting into it on the show. Social media messages on the Super Morning Show are brought to you by Rapinol. When the pain is too much to bear, grab Rapinol from Danex Ayrton Starwin PLC. Rapinol, the rapid pain reliever. It's also brought to you by EcoBank, A Better Way, A Better Africa, and Mala2 from Ernest Chemist. Mala2, power over malaria. Now, this is the year to stop singing and talking about shopping and enjoying life and just do it. EcoBank has over 1 million cedis worth of cash and prizes in the EcoBank Million Gang promo for you and over 7,000 others across Ghana. Hey, all right, well, winners will be rewarded bi-weekly, and you can be one of them, winning up to 10,000 Ghana cedis. There will also be 3 monthly draws, and all you have to do is deposit cash in multiples of 500 Ghana cedis into your EcoBank account at your nearest branch, EcoBank Express Point, or via EcoBank Mobile to stand a chance of winning. Other prizes include fuel vouchers, shopping vouchers, airtime, and so much more. The promo runs from now until July the 31st, 2024. It's your time to chop life. Remember, every 500 Ghana cedi deposit earns you an entry into the EMG draw. A better way to enjoy life, a better way, a better Africa. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. All right. Well, it's time for us to bring you food for thought in just a moment. Stay with us. We'll be back after these.
We not say problem day, but you for chop life. Simply deposit cash in multiples of 500 Ghana cedis into your EcoBank account at your nearest branch, Express Point, or through EcoBank Mobile to win your share of over 1 million cedis in prizes in the EcoBank Million Gang promo, EMG. Be one of over 7,000 people to be rewarded. Hey, my God. Yes, so over 7,000 people go chop soft life from May to July 31, 2024. Be an EcoBank customer or be square. Remember, every 500 Ghana cedi deposit earns you a point for the EcoBank Million Gang today. EMG. Deposit today and win your share of 1.2 million in cash and prizes. A better way to enjoy life. A better way. A better Africa. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
As the world is changing, you need updated skills to take advantage of all the opportunities out there today. The Ghana Skills Development Fund has already provided training for dozens of businesses over the last 2 years. And now it's your turn. With over 100 million Ghana cedis given up for skills upgrades in the formal, informal, and innovations and green technology sectors, applications are now open for the next batch. Visit www.gsdf.ctvet.gov.gh to submit concept notes between now and 14 June. And be sure to apply in the correct window to avoid disqualification. Call 0303-941-361 for more inquiries or send an email to gsdf@ctvet.gov.gh with inquiry as the subject. The GSDF is funded by the World Bank through the International Development Association IDA with the Commission for Technical and Vocational Education and Training CTVET as the implementing agency under the Ministry of Education.
All right, then. So it's time for Food for Thought with Uncle Ibu White. And, of course, brought to you by Roverman Productions. Be the difference. Uncle Ibu, good morning.
Handsome, good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good.
Could you, as the lawyers will say, or the judges will say, you are not properly... You are naked before the court today.
Yes. I am. I'm not fully dressed. Just fighting the heat small. Not bad. It was quite relaxing. I went to Cape Coast. Always a good time in Cape Coast.
Yeah. Okay, that's wonderful. I was in Tema.
Oh.
Now, it's interesting that anybody who comes up now, we want to trace to see whether we can claim the person as a Ghanaian.
Yeah, right? Yes.
We do nothing to develop the Ghanaians we know.
No.
Now we
We
go
want new
across
ones.
the world. We go across the world and we go through your whole ancestry. And to see, even if your ancestor was a slave owner, we'll claim you as a Ghanaian if he came to Ghana, if he was in the Gold Coast.
Oh, goodness. Yeah,
But
mean,
anyway.
we all want what we don't have, right? So we obviously want accomplished citizens. That's why we are going after them.
It will help if we can produce our own people. We can help them.
Precisely.
Because with the right facilities and infrastructure, I'm sure that 100% Ghanaians will be able to rise to that level as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and talking about helping our own, my next production, the working title for my next production is Takeover. And that's my my next production play. The details will be on this network, and you will be the first to know.
We cannot wait.
And today happens to the birthday of the lady who runs my office, Elsie Atiekunuku. I work for her. And so if I don't say happy birthday to her, I'm sure I will struggle to get my next salary. So Elsie, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Auntie Elsie.
Koyo, this week we celebrate Father's Day, and it is a big deal for me. So for the rest of the month, I want to reflect on fathers. I begin this morning by asking the question, do you know your father? In other words, who is your father? Ask most people, who is your father? And they will mention the name of their biological father or the man who raised them. It will look like a simple and straightforward question, until you come upon the heated exchange between Jesus and some Jews as recorded in the Gospel of John chapter 8. And you realize that the question is not as easy and straightforward as it seems. In this exchange, the Pharisees and the Jews were struggling to accept some of the claims Jesus was making about himself. It began in the 12th verse, when Jesus said to them, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. The Pharisees immediately challenged him and said, here you are appearing as your own witness. Your testimony is not valid. Jesus countered by saying, even if I testify on my own behalf, my testimony is valid. According to Jesus, what made his testimony valid was that he had a witness to his claims. He said, and this is in the 17th verse, in your own law, it is written that the testimony of two witnesses is true. I am one who testifies for myself. My other witness is the Father who sent me. So Kojo, the exchange quickly went into who the father of Jesus was and where he could be found. When Jesus realized that they would never accept his claim of who he was, he said to them that in their opposition and hostility toward him, on account of his claims and pronouncements, they were only doing what their father would want them to do. The Jews protested strongly and with great indignation, saying, Abraham is our father. Jesus said, if you were Abraham's children, then you would do what Abraham did. As it is, you are looking for a way to kill me, a man who has told you the truth that I heard from God. Abraham did not do such things. You are doing the works of your own father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. I believe this was one of those exchanges that made the Jews and the Pharisees decide that Jesus was too much trouble and that they would need to kill him. But in that exchange, Jesus defined for us how to answer the question, who is your father? According to the argument of Jesus, even though the Jews were descended from Abraham, their attitude did not reflect the attitude of Abraham to spiritual truth. As far as Jesus was concerned, in opposing the word of God, they have shown that they could not belong to God, but to the one who opposes God, the devil. And in that argument is the formula for answering the question, who is your father? From Jesus' point of view, a father is anyone your behavior reflects. Your father is not necessarily the man whose name is on you or the man you put forward as your father. According to Jesus, a father is the one you emulate, the one whose values you live by, and the one whose cause you fight for. So, for instance, if your father is a decent, respected, upright man, and you are dishonest, vulgar, and corrupt, then you have lost the right to claim that decent, upright man as your father. Your father then becomes any dishonest and corrupt man your behavior and your attitude mimics. If your father is a gentle, well-spoken, and well-dressed man, and you are aggressive and violent and don't groom yourself well, then that gentle, well-spoken man is no longer your father. You have lost your right to claim him for father. This applies in religion. We call God our father, and there are people who claim to know and love God. They may even be very active in church, and their speeches may always have references to God and the scriptures. But these are also the very people promoting corruption and messing around in town. When they do that, they are no longer the children of God, but of the devil. And that is the principle Jesus gave us in John chapter 8. So, if you claim to have a father, let your attitude, your deeds, and your words honor him, whether he's around or not. When your behavior and your attitude reflects the man you call father, you honor him. If not, you dishonor him and deny him as your father. In my teens, my mother took me along to a gathering of the Fanti community in Kumasi. At the gathering, there was this young man who seemed to be one of the organizers, and he was the most active among them. He moved from one side of the gathering to the other smartly and always with a smile on his face. Even from a distance, you could see the warmth with which he related to people. My mother and those sitting around her noticed the young man and began talking about him, commenting on how well he was carrying himself. Finally, my mother called him, and when he came to her, she asked him, "What is your name?" The young man said, "My name is Kwesi Akest." My mother asked him, "Are you related to Mr. Akest who used to work with the railways?" The young man said, "That was my father." And my mother and all the women around her said to him, "Oh, shake our hands. Your father thanks you for reflecting and representing him so well." In carrying himself well, the young man had honored his father and demonstrated that he was indeed the son of his father. If, on the other hand, he had misconducted himself and misbehaved, he would also have dishonored and even denied his father. So, who is your father? Do you know your father? If you do you honor him? Remember that your father is the one whose principles and values you exhibit and reflect. And Handsome Kojo, that's my presentation for this morning.
Who is your father? Yes, I love that. Thank you so much. And I guess it's an opportunity for us to thank all of the fathers in our lives, the ones we are trying to be like. Yes.
You know, can I tell you something before I go?
Sure.
Yesterday, I was with a group of young people, and I asked them, what do you celebrate your father for? And one of them said, "I celebrate my father for the patience he has for my mother."
That's leadership by example. He's braving the elements to set the example for his son.
Kojo, have a fantastic week.
Have a great one, Clebo. That was food for thought. Oh, goodness. All right, well, it's time for the Joy Business Report, and the Joy Business Minute. And it is brought to us by Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG. We stand with you, and Anointed Electricals, the generator experts.
Hello, welcome to the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you, Anointed Electricals, the generator experts, and Waikari Capital, together towards tomorrow. Government is expected to sign an agreement with bilateral creditors on debt restructuring next week. Almost all the countries accepted the final changes Ghana made to the draft MOU sent to the Finance Ministry. Total gold production in Ghana for last year reached 4 million ounces. The amount of money earned by members of the Ghana Chamber of Mines as export revenue also hit almost $6 billion. However, only $4.2 billion was repatriated. Government recorded a 19.4% oversubscription of its treasury bills as demand for the short-term instruments rebounded. And holidaymakers are being warned about a rise in scams where fake social media accounts are used to impersonate airlines. And that's the Joy Business Minute, brought to you by Consolidated Bank Ghana. We stand with you, Anointed Electricals, the generator experts, and Waikari Capital, together towards tomorrow.
All right, well, Anointed Electricals Engineering Services Limited is into sales of ultra-silent generators from 5 kVA to 2,500 kVA, and they undertake maintenance and repairs of all kinds of diesel generators. They also stock genuine spare parts of all kinds for various generators, and they also do general generator rentals. In East Legon, you can find them on Lagos Avenue, just opposite Tom Reek Hotel. They are in Tema as well, on Tema General Hospital Road. That's in Community 9, just after the overhead. And at Odoko, they have their head office, number 77 Anointed House, which is off the Odoko Malam Road in Accra. They've got branches across the country. Anointed is the generator expert. You can find them when you contact their hotline on 0243 480 334. All right, big stories are coming up, and listen, an 84 million Ghana cedi deal, a contract has been signed between the Ministry of Education and Busy Internet. Their job is simple. They are to provide internet in about 700 senior high schools and about 300 Ghana Education Service offices. But it would appear that and by the way, it's not only the 84 million Ghana cedis, but also the over 6 million Ghana cedis they are to be paid every single month for maintenance and provision of data. Okay, so this deal is worth a lot. But we are being told by the Fourth Estate that they are not delivering on this deal. Not only are they not delivering on the deal, they shouldn't have even won it in the first place. So questions abound, in spite of the fact that the Education Ministry has issued a statement seeking to address some of those issues. It would seem that there is still a lot to be explained, Ray.
This is what the ministry stated. The Ministry of Education wishes to address the claims made in a recent report by the Fourth Estate media regarding the Wi-Fi for Schools program. Now, the report, which suggests a failure in service delivery and misuse of public funds, is inaccurate and does not represent the facts. It says here, for purposes of clarity, the facts of the matter are as follows. It gives a background. In line with the government's education transformation agenda, the Ministry of Education undertook a significant initiative to boost internet connectivity in educational institutions in 2019. This senior high school, the program extended internet access to senior high schools, colleges of education, regional and district education officers across the country, thereby enhancing learning, administration and research capabilities. Under contract overview, the ministry secured Public Procurement Authority approval for 2 phases of the project. Phase 1 in August 2019 to engage Busy Internet Ghana Limited for Wi-Fi provision in 717 senior high schools at a cost of 59 million. Right now, this covered supply, installation, and maintenance of hardware devices with a recurring sum of dedicated internet not exceeding 2.6 million. Now, phase 2 of the project expanded the scope to include
all 16 regional education directorates offices, 46 colleges of education, and 260 district education offices of GES at a cost of 24 million, plus a recurring monthly dedicated internet of an amount not exceeding 3.7 million. The total contract sum amounted to 84 million, covering hardware supply, installation, maintenance, training, and testing across 1,013 institutions, if you want to call them sites, including senior high schools, colleges of education, regional and district office of education. In line with the review clause in contract signed in 2019, an upward review of monthly recurring cost was approved by the PPA and capped to an amount, specifically not exceeding 11 million in 2023 due to the prevailing inflation and foreign exchange rates. Despite the approved amount of recurring expenditure, it is important to understand that the ministry only pays for the accessible dedicated internet and not necessarily the total capped monthly costs. Wi-Fi functionality is the next issue they raised. Wi-Fi functionality depends on multiple components, including routers, cables, and access points. Any malfunction in these components can affect service. Similarly, Wi-Fi access is primarily limited to specific areas within schools, specifically library blocks, administration blocks, and ICT laboratories. Payment. Service compensation for the payment of any monthly cost is prorated as required by the terms of the contract. Specifically, the contract provides that the supplier shall be compensated on a pro rata basis. Now, the effect is that any downtime up to and exceeding half of the particular month will not be paid for. This means that despite the approved amount of recurring expenditure, the ministry does not pay a pesewa if services does not reach the 50%, less than half of the month threshold in a particular month. Then there is other issue they raised with two more issues. Could you, if you want me to go through them?
Sure.
Yes, the ministry employs, when it comes to monetary mechanisms, the ministry employs various monetary mechanisms, including reporting lines from ICT coordinators in schools, Wi-Fi monitoring tools, and a network operating room. These measures aim to ensure timely detection, resolution of connectivity issues in the institutions nationwide. It also helps the ministry to know how much of the service to pay within a particular month. Additionally, the contract provides for a committee made up of the Ministry of Education, the Ghana Education Service, the NACA, and also NCA to vet all invoices and certify before payment is made to Lifted Logistics Limited, formerly Busy Internet. There is also validation committees set up by the Minister for Education to equally vet all invoices before payment is made to the vendor. For instance, in February 2024, despite an invoice of 6.4 million submitted, the ministry ended up paying 3.6 million after vetting. Termination of contract. The ministry, upon evaluation, is considering terminating aspects of the contract in schools that are experiencing satellite connectivity challenges, a situation which had been attributed to the failure of Lifted Logistics Limited, formerly Busy Internet, to pay its providers. The conclusion of the response from the ministry says the Ministry of Education, under the leadership of the Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Aduchum, is committed to ensuring value for money in all of its initiatives and reassures the public of the government's dedication to improve education with the aim of achieving socio-economic transformation. The ministry urges the public to disregard the erroneous impression created by this publication from the Fourth Estate media and any such.
So to be clear, no mention of the SNIT and the tax issues.
No such reference be made in this document or the response given so far. Perhaps now that maybe this has come now to their attention and ability to properly respond. So maybe, or they were expecting, what's the name of the institution? The logistics grouping, the Lifted Logistics grouping, to be the one responding to that part. Perhaps they pursue that not to fall within their purview, as it is the responsibility of the company to take care of its staff and their payments related to it. And again, when it comes to taxes, is between logistics and the GRA. So perhaps they expected them to be the ones responding to do these two specific issues.
It is, however, the responsibility of any government institution going into a contract to ensure that they are contracting an institution that is qualified.
Absolutely so.
To carry out a government contract.
In fact,
and these
much more so government institutions.
Indeed, yes. And these are direct disqualification criteria. If you owe government taxes or SNIT contributions, because you need a clearance letter from SNIT in order to even bid, for the contract. So yeah, I am very interested in understanding how this came to be without any kind of check of their eligibility.
Alex, you need to make sure that you go to some of these issues, and then the question will be asked: if it was any other institution that you are contracting, would you have done these due diligence? Would it be required of you to do them along the line, or insist on documentation that supports those claims, so that you know that you are engaging the right people? Because it may sound, if proven to be the case, it may sound a bit problematic that the state asking for others to pay taxes was not sure or did not check that the people you are engaging were paying taxes before engaging them. What signal are you sending to the rest of us anyway? So that's an important point anyway.
Okay, so we're going to delve into it. We'll be hearing more about this investigation by the Fourth Estate, and then we'll ask a few pointed questions of some very interested stakeholders and see what we can come up with, right? All right. Big stories brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies, Latex Foam, your partner for life, and Equity Health Insurance, here for you.
Could you picture this? You are lying in bed after a long day seeking comfort and relaxation, but instead you are met with a mattress that sags beneath you, a reminder of shortcuts and compromises. Your comfort and well-being should have never been compromised. That's why we at Latest Foam prioritize quality above all else. Step into any of our showrooms and experience the difference for yourself. Our high quality mattresses and furniture are crafted with your ultimate relaxation in mind. Now picture waking up refreshed, rejuvenated, and ready to take on the day. That's the Latest Foam promise. Invest in your well-being, choose Latest Foam, otherwise you do yourself. Latest Foam, your partner for life. Visit us today and sleep better tonight. Call us on these numbers: 0302 231155 or 0322 008499, or visit our online portal latestfoamghana.com for the best.
Right, you're about to have the world at your fingertips because the wait is finally over. Telecel is here. Now you have everything you want and need: quick and reliable communication, stress-free money transactions via Telecel Cash, transforming your big business ideas into success stories with Telecel Business and more. Connect with Telecel and enjoy a world of endless possibilities, because with Telecel, there is no limit to connections. Telecel, connecting energies.
Now, in today's competitive business landscape, a healthy workforce is the foundation of success. That's why we have designed our corporate health plans to empower your employees and enhance the organization's performance. With Equity Health Insurance, you're not just investing in insurance, you are investing in the future of your company. Our plans are tailored to meet the unique needs of your employees, providing comprehensive coverage and incomparable benefits. Our commitment goes beyond paperwork and premiums. At Equity Health Insurance, we stay with you all the way. You can call us on these numbers now: 0501 515 124 or 0506 607 910, and let us serve you better. Kojo Jansen, Equity Health Insurance, we are here for you.
Thank you for being there for me. So the question is this: has busy internet not been busy enough providing internet for the princely sum of 84 million Ghana cedis to over 1,000 separate sites? The answers here on the Super Morning Show.
Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best bet on Joy 99.7 FM.
I send them, you get them. I get them, I send them.
I get them.
I pay them.
Telecel Cash.
I get them, I take them.
Telecel Cash.
You get them.
I send them.
Telecel cash.
I send them, you get them.
Telecel cash.
I get them.
I buy them, I take them.
I pay them. I send them.
Telecel cash. Telecel cash.
Experience the ultimate convenience of sending money on Telecel Cash. Sending money from Telecel Cash to Telecel Cash is free. You can also make payments to merchants on all networks. Enjoy best value and total security with Telecel Cash.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
After tasting 10 cedis worth of Abochi's kebab, you finally decide to buy some. He wraps it up and you take it home. Just when you're about to dig in, you see your name in bold Times New Roman font size 14 on the paper. And that's when you realize it's the CV you submitted for a job last week. The job market is changing rapidly. AI, clouds, holograms. Who knows what's next? Over 34 million Ghanaians. What makes you stand out? Get the X Factor to get ahead with tech courses from ALX. Choose AWS Cloud Computing, Salesforce Administration, Data Analytics, Data Science, Front-End Web Development, Back-End Web Development, or AI Career Essentials. Search ALX Ghana online to apply now. ALX. Do hard things.
Say donut, 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 donut. Hey, donut, 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 donut. Donut, donut. Then come cotton, donut. Donut, donut. Malaria, super donut. Everybody follow not sa malaria. A 3D donut now. Won't malaria chill. Won't popo. What will you do? I want you. Donut, donut. Adabako. No. Lonat scatter malaria. Lonat ide scatter malaria.
A quality product from Blaze GVS Pharma. Yenshishemu hu se malaria wa wumujam ansana wanum Lonat. Na nam yensearch na malaria no daso wo hwa ko hu dokota.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, Cashman. Yeah. Don't you know Nana has assembled all of us and you are here making calls?
My generator is spoiled too. So I'm calling a renowned Ghanaian company with an excellent track record in the sales and repairs of generator sets in Accra to come and repair for me.
Oh, is it Anointed Electricals?
Yeah.
Anointed Electricals deals in quality and genuine generators with high fuel efficiency. We also rent generators.
They sell quality generators from 10 kVA to 2500 kVA. They have spare parts of other generators and can repair every faulty generator set even if you didn't buy from them.
Look, now we don't have any electrical problem in Accra.
Oh, how?
Because Anointed Electricals is right here at East Legon, Lagos Avenue, opposite Tomric Hotel.
And that's why Nana is calling us.
Okay.
Yes.
If you want to buy a brand new generator or repair the old one, visit Anointed Electricals. Or if you are within Accra, call our hotline 0246 423 534
or call 0243 480 334. They have qualified and dedicated men on 24-hour after sales service.
Then let's go and listen to Nana. Let's go.
Gosh, after giving you the hint, won't you give me anything?
Anointed, the generator experts.
Name is Akrobato. I like my mind peace. That's why I go get my Bampo insurance from Holland Life. Just yesterday, my Abushapeni asked everybody to pay 1,000 Ghana cedis for a penny funeral. But Masa Nukureni and Mosomekora. My Bambo helped me cover cost of funeral and any disability cost by paying 2 Ghana cedis per Bushumibia. A simple crowd.
Yes, with as little as 2 Ghana cedis, you too can have peace of mind about cost of injury and funeral by simply registering with Mibambo Insurance from Holland Life. Just dial *269# on MTN or Telecel and follow the prompts. It's really that simple. Enjoy peace of mind today, knowing your tomorrow is covered. Mibambo Insurance, made for you.
Coffee in your cup.
Every day you are hearing this song. Every day. I mean, it's not even like it used to be an occasional thing. Once every couple of months, you drop this song because something has happened.
Big is happening
now, dear. Every day, I will be sorry, Biana. Wanna money. It's getting to be problematic. But well, unfortunately, we have to inform you that once again, there are allegations being put out there strongly by the Fourth Estate, suggesting that, a contract that the PPA awarded to Busy Internet for the provision of Wi-Fi in senior high schools is a problem because there was no tax or SNIT clearance certificates, which are mandatory requirements for any company to bid for a government contract. Now, between 2018 and 2022, Busy Internet owed tax and SNIT of about 17 million. Almost 3 times the amount that government pays to Busy Internet each month for what Fourth Estate describes as non-existent internet connection in the schools. Now, some former employees have been speaking to the Fourth Estate. Let's hear them.
We were indebted to GRA staff SNIT contributions were also in the red. Even Tier 2 pension were also in the red. And most government contracts requires that for you to qualify, your obligations to these statutory agencies should be on point. You need a tax clearance certificate. You need a clearance letter from SNIT to virtually indicate that you are in good standing. And as at that time, I can say for a fact that we didn't.
That we didn't have dispensation letter, we didn't have withholding tax certificate. It means that we've not been paying our taxes. And I'm so 100% sure that at that time, we were so back in payment for some of these taxes, and we've not paid. To the point that GRA has come to our office to close us before, and they have done that 2 occasions. And we're still having payment plan with them to pay, which we weren't handling because we didn't have the money. It was during the process of we starting to do the installation. That was when I got to hear that, okay, initially the contract was this amount, 3 point something, has changed to 6. The contract now is not serving its purpose. Why? Because it is supposed to give secondary schools internet access. But as we stand now, I can tell you for a fact about 60% of these secondary schools don't have internet. So if it's not working, why is the government still paying for this service? Why is the company Busy Internet, if it is still in operation, why are they still invoicing Ministry of Education for it to be?
Yeah, so those are excerpts from the work done by the Fourth Estate, but that's not all, okay? So every month, the government was also supposed to pay over 6 million Ghana cedis, 6.3 million to be precise, to Busy Internet for maintenance and internet services, all right, over the 5-year period of this contract. Busy Internet was not only able to secure the 84 million Ghana cedi government contract, it was awarded the contract on a sole sourcing arrangement. And you know that every time that happens, you know, the questions arise, rightfully so. In May 2023, the PPA approved an increment in the monthly recurrent cost of the contract, moving it from 6.3 million to 11.5 million Ghana cedis. The PPA also approved the transfer of the contract from Busy Internet to Lifted Logistics. Okay, so there was some sort of change in, business entity there. Procurement consultant Collins Ajiman Sapong has been assessing this, and he says, look, no company can win a contract in Ghana without meeting these basic requirements. Don't take it from me. Let's listen to Collins himself.
You have the tax clearance, Senate clearance. You need to be registered with the Ghana Registrar General. You need to have a registration certificate as a business or going a business concern. If you miss any of this mandatory requirement, Nobody should give you a contract. You can't win.
Yeah, that's Collins Ajiman Sapon. We'll be hearing more from him as the conversation unfolds. Now, that's not all, okay? The PPA approved the transfer of the 84 million Ghana cedis Wi-Fi contract to Lifted Logistics in May 2023, okay? But this happened to be 10 months before the NCA approved a conditional license for internet provision for Lifted Logistics, okay, in February 2024. So for 10 months, they operated without this license. Despite winning the contract, Busy Internet has failed to provide internet services to many schools. The government, however, continued to pay for the internet in some of these schools that have not had service for as long as 24 months. 24 months in a row, no internet, but they've been paid. The Ministry of Education has refused to provide information on how much it has paid Busy Internet, but parliamentary records indicate that Lifted Logistics received 56 million Ghana cedis between January and September 2023. All right, well, listen, let's find out as much as we can about this. Evans Aziamo Mensah is a reporter with the Fourth Estate. He is on the team that did this work. Evans, it's good to have you. Thank you for making the time.
Thank you, Kojo.
We will also be hearing from a former Busy Internet employee. We're going to call him Ni for the purpose of this conversation, since his identity must be protected. Ni, thank you for joining us. Good morning. All right, we'll be hearing from Ni. Also, Divine is Senior Programs Manager at Africa Education Watch. They, of course, are a think tank that has been looking into this situation of the provision of internet and has some perspectives there. Collins Ajiman Sapong, you heard him earlier. He's a procurement consultant and he's been sharing his expert opinion on this deal. Dr. Clement Apak, no stranger to our show, Deputy Ranking Member of Parliament's Education Committee, will be joining us as well. I believe he's going to be on the phone. But let's get started with Evans because there's a lot here. You uncovered a lot. We'll let you walk us through the main facts of what you discovered, okay?
Okay. So, Kojo, we got to know that in 2019, the government signed a contract with Busy Internet to provide internet services to senior high schools and Ghana Education Service offices across the country. And the contract amount for installation of the devices was 84 million Ghana cedis. And then we also got to know that the government was going to be paying 6.3 million Ghana cedis every month for maintenance and for internet across these offices and the schools. And so we got curious. We wanted to understand exactly how efficient this service has been since it was put together in 2019. So we started doing investigations and we realized that some of the schools do not have the internet. And despite not having the internet, the Ministry of Education, for instance, continued to pay money for these services. So when I went to Laboni Senior High School and Accra Academy, for instance, they were on private internet. But to our surprise, the government was paying for these months that they were on private internet. And in fact, as we speak, Laboni Senior High School, they are still on private internet. But the government continues to pay for them. So we asked the question, if these schools are now on the internet being provided by Busy Internet, why are we continuing to pay money for these services? And the Busy Internet denied, but because we had evidence to show that indeed these schools were off, we also presented evidence to them. So when I sent the list of schools to them, about 53 schools to them to confirm whether they were off at the time, they mentioned to me that Busy Internet has stopped operating, and so they couldn't provide data to contradict whatever information we give to them. So that was what they said. Yeah. Meanwhile, Busy Internet and Lifted Logistics are owned by one person. All right? And right before that, we got to know that even though the contract was awarded to Busy Internet, it was transferred to Lifted Logistics from January 2020. So whatever amount we're paying Busy was actually going to Lifted Logistics because Busy Internet was owing. And so the former employees went to court to get Ganashi orders on its bank account.
Busy Internet was owing what?
Was owing in taxes, salaries, and was owing third-party contractors that was working for Busy. So, when they won the contract, they contracted MTN, Etel Tigo, and another company called Yaklik to provide these services for them because they didn't have the capacity to deploy all the services across the country. And so while they were doing the work for Busy was not paying them. And so sometimes they are forced to go to court. For instance, the former employees who were sacked without their SNET and their salary arrears were forced to go to court to secure Ghana Share orders so that they can get the money from the bank account of Busy Internet. So to outmask the system, they now transfer all the payments to Lifter Logistics so that they can get their money secured in that account. And that was done without approval from the PPA, as we only got to know about that in 2023, 3 years after the contract was being implemented. And then we also got to know that despite not meeting some of these requirements, Busy got the contract on a sole source basis.
Right.
All right. And we went further to investigate the issue. And then we got to know that some of the schools, for instance, when I spoke to the headmaster of Opokwari Senior High School, he mentioned to me that the absence of the internet in the schools was affecting teaching and learning because since government was deploying these smart schools projects and the digitalization project in the schools, laptops and the tablets and all that, since there's no internet, it was going to affect the students and the teaching and learning in the schools. And so if we are paying for these schools, meanwhile we do not have the internet, it means that we are wasting our money. And then further in 2023, when we started investigating the story, we asked Busy if they had secured approval from PPA to transfer the contract to Lifter Logistics. The Busy guy that I spoke to told me that indeed when they bought Busy in 2018, they got the license from that particular buyout, which we later got to know that was a lie because the PPA only transferred the contract to Lifter Logistics in 2023 May. And then also we got to know that in February this year, that was when Busy internet license was now transferred to Lifter Logistics conditionally. All right. Which meant that at the time PPA gave the contract to Lifter Logistics, it was not a licensed entity. Meanwhile, according to procurement, when I spoke to the procurement expert, they mentioned to me that for a company to win a contract, it must be licensed by the industry head, which is the NCA at the time. And NCA didn't license Lifter Logistics. So how was he able to get the contract that was signed to Busy at the time? And I also got to know that the contract sum was increased from 6.3 million Ghana cedis to 11.5 million Ghana cedis, even though government says that it was prorated, and so if the service is not delivered, they won't have to pay for all that money. We got to know that most of these schools that we visited, at least 53, and then some of the schools that Africa Education Watch had gone to a year before our investigation, showed that these internet services in the schools were off, but government continued to pay for them. So these are some of the key findings from our investigations.
In case you just joined us, we're talking about a contract signed between the Ministry of Education and Busy Internet to provide internet services to over 1,000 sites across the country, 700 of them being senior high schools and about 300 of them being Ghana Education Service offices and locations, administrative locations. And we are learning from the Fourth Estate investigation that, this project was actually very poorly delivered upon, but also that the company that was awarded the contract perhaps was not qualified to be given that contract. Evans Aziamo Mensah is briefing us on it. We'll be hearing from other stakeholders in a moment. But Evans, in a very quick fire way, we're going to establish some facts, very simple facts. First of all, which schools did you visit? What did you find?
So I visited in Accra. I visited the Accra Academy, Laboni Senior High School, St. Mary's in Kolegono. I visited the school at Kimbu. I visited the schools in Adan as well. And I realized that most of these schools, at the time I visited, it was only Kimbu Senior High School that had internet service available and it was working. All right. The others did not work. And outside of Accra, we went to Opokwari, we went to Wenchi Methodist SHS and the Istikama Senior High School. We went to a school also in the Techiman Senior High School as well. And most of these services were off. They were not having internet. And in fact, the coordinators in the schools were supposed to serve as liaison officers between Busy and the schools to ensure that there was internet service available. On their platform, we got to know that they've been complaining of the absence of service, but Busy did not really attend to their concerns that they've raised, Okay. And so at the time, they even got infuriated when Busy operators were asking them how about the efficiency of the internet service, and they told them that you are the operators and you should know whether internet service is off or not. So these are some of the findings from the
Now, you reported that the ministry actually paid for specific schools that didn't have internet when you checked. Give us those specific schools.
So Laboni Senior High School it's been off for almost 24 months. Accra Academy Senior High School. In fact, for Accra, it's the old students that were paying for internet service at the time that we even went to the schools. All right? But government was paying for this school. Then when you talk about the Wenchi Methodist Senior High School, Pokuare at a point, and about 53 schools that we visited, these schools were off, except Kimbu.
Right.
That was on at the time we went there.
Okay.
You know.
What did the ministry say to you about this?
So when I spoke to them, they mentioned that the services were prorated, which meant that they do not have to pay for a service if it is not delivered at the end of the month. So there's a monitoring service in place where they have a committee that have to verify whether an internet service was delivered. And then also, up until September 2023, there was no virtual platform to monitor. So they now use a virtual platform to monitor whether an internet service was on or off at a particular school at a point in time. So that's why they started monitoring the service. Despite these measures, the government insists that they have not been paying for this school. Meanwhile, so when I requested information from them to give me the list of schools they have been paying for since 2020, they gave me the list. But what they failed to do was that they failed to give me the amount of money they've paid for each of these schools.
Right.
And then from the list of the schools they give to us, that was when we were able to tell that the schools that we visited within this period that were off were being paid for, even though they refused to give us the amount of money they paid for these schools.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. Okay. So, obviously, you tried to find out the explanation that Lifted Logistics had for all of this. What did they say?
So when I spoke to them, they also denied that they were not taking money for schools that were off. But at least because we have the list from the ministry that shows that indeed these schools were being paid for, we were able to challenge that particular assertion. And they said we should send a list to them to work on it. So I sent the list of the schools that we went to. I sent to Lifted Logistics. And then they got back to me that they do not have data on these schools that we have given to them within the periods that we went to the schools because Busy has stopped operation. But could you bear in mind that Busy and Lifted belong to the same person? And Lifted was executing the contract right from the word go. And so there was no way we could buy the argument
Lifted bought Busy, am I right?
Yes.
So if Busy doesn't exist, it's because it is owned by Lifted Logistics.
Yes.
So their explanation to you that Busy doesn't exist, so they don't have the information.
Yeah.
Lifted has bought that information.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yes, that's
okay.
true. And when you go to the register of companies, even though they said Busy does not exist or is ceased to operate and all that, Busy is still a company on its registrar. And Busy has not filed its tax returns for the past 8 years. That means that 4 years or 3 years before he won the contract, and all this year after the contract, Busy has not filed its tax returns. And then file its annual filings at the register of companies. Same as Lifted, that has not done it for 2 years.
Interesting.
Has not filed the annual filings for 2 years at the register of companies. And so the argument that Busy does not exist and so could not give us the data on which schools were off at a point in time, I mean, it's not it's an argument that we can buy.
Okay. Now, the PPA also has a role to play here.
Yeah.
Tell us about their approval for an increase in the monthly recurring cost. Now, just for those of you who just joined us, the contract itself is worth 84 million Ghana cedis, okay, for 1,000 sites to be connected to the internet. So that means on average about 84,000 Ghana cedis per site to connect each site to the internet, right? 84,000 Ghana cedis each. But that's not it. Every month, according to the contract, they were to also be paid 6.3 million Ghana cedis for maintenance and the provision of data.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. But that amount was increased in May 2023. Tell us about that.
So we got a letter that shows that in May 2023, the ministry wrote to PPA for an increment in the monthly recurrent cost of the contract. And the argument they made was that there was an issue with exchange rates and VAT increment and inflation. And so they need to increase the monthly recurrent cost of the contract.
Right.
So it jumped from 6.3 million Ghana cedis to 11.5 million Ghana cedis. That's almost like 100% jump in the contract. The monthly
6.3 to 11.5.
All right. And so it was at that approval that the PPO also approved the change or the transfer of the contract from Busy Internet to Lifted Logistics. Meanwhile, this company had been executing the contract right from January 2020. You know.
Okay.
And
Now,
like I said, Lifted Logistics only got a conditional license from the NCA this year in February. So that means 10 months ago, when it was giving the contract to execute, it didn't have a license to operate as a licensed internet service provider in Ghana.
So they executed this contract for 10 years without a license. And
So for
recently
10
got
months.
10 months.
Yeah.
Sorry, forgive my mistake.
That's
For
even the
10 months
official
without a license.
during the official approval.
Mhm.
But what we know is that Lifted had been executing the contract right from January 2020 when it was signed.
But at least from
Because
the
the
point
monies
where
that were paid to Lifted Logistics.
But to avoid confusion, at least from the point where the contract for Lifted
Yeah.
Logistics was approved, they actually operated this contract for 10 months
Yeah.
without a license.
Yes.
Okay. Have you reached out to the PPA?
Yes.
For them to explain
Yes, we
these
reached out to
things?
them and they refused to speak to us on the issues that we have concerning the contract. Yeah.
They refused?
Yeah. We've made follow-up calls. We went to their offices and all that. But they've not made any effort to speak to us.
Okay. Do we have Nee on the line? Nee is a former Busy Internet employee. He joins us to give a bit more insight. Nee, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank
How
you
are
for your time. We're very well, thanks. Now, Nee, you said that at the time Busy Internet won the Wi-Fi contract, you were owed SNIT Tier 1 and Tier 2 contributions. You also said the company owed taxes, so they couldn't have provided a GRA or SNIT clearance certificate, which, are basic requirements to win a contract. Tell us more about this situation.
Okay. So, at the time that Busy Internet won this contract, what was pertaining was that SNIT has already taken us to court. We were going to court on these Tier 1, Tier 2 payments and other contributions that are supposed to be paid to employees. So, in any sense, I don't know how SNIT will give clearance that payment of employees' contributions is up to date, and we need to go ahead and get any contract from the government. On top of that, we have been locked up by GRA on multiple times for non-payment of our income taxes and all those things. We were locked up when we were at Circle. We moved to Una Homes, we were locked up there. And then we moved to Jogulu. Somehow opposite information for right bill, that office, we moved there and we're locked up there too. So there is no way we can say that at that particular moment we had any clearance from SNIT and that of GRA.
So let me ask you, what's the current situation? Has the company paid your SNIT?
Because of the court issues, they started paying some, but for my records, Tier 2 has not been paid at all. Nothing about Tier 2 has been paid.
So what action are you taking against the company right now?
Okay, so we employees of Busy Internet, we want to state it clearly that we are not in any way fighting anybody except Lifted Logistics and Aguila. Now, this gentleman, let me also bring some points to bear in this whole issue. Now, from the beginning of the contract, we were given mobilization fee of about 20 million. I can tell you for a fact that this amount of money did not stay in our account for a minute. Hoppe and his team came running to us and demanded that we transfer that money to him. And that money was transferred to him. At the blind side of our CEO and MD, they created another Busy bank account, and all funds were transferred to that Busy bank account. So originally, the money that was supposed to be coming to Busy Internet account stopped coming, and it was diverted through the other Busy account. So we had no knowledge of whatever amount has been paid to this guy. Now, let me ask, if you buy a company, you take on its assets and you take on its liabilities, right? But this gentleman bought Busy Internet, used its assets to work, and refused to take care of its liabilities. As I'm talking to you now, a lot of employees' salaries are in arrears, and they have not been paid. And I am so sad to inform you that we have lost 4 members of our ex-employees already to this same issue, because people were sick, people had asthma, they don't have money to pay for their bills, and some of them died through it. And even to date, You cannot in any way get through to this man. He has vowed not to pay our salary arrears, and that is what we are after. You know something? Some of our employees are in court with this guy, and he has sold off all the assets of Busy Internet. So even if you go to court and you win judgment against Busy Internet, you cannot execute that judgment on anything because all the assets, landed properties of Busy Internet has been sold.
You mentioned
you see the dilemma in which we find ourselves.
Yes, I do. You mentioned the name of the owner of this company. Tell us again.
Hoppe Ojo. Hoppe Omotolaya Ojo or something like that.
Right. Okay. Let me confirm with Evans. I mean, in your investigations, what name did you come across as the owner of this company?
Hoppe Omotayo Ojo.
Okay.
He is there.
All right. I want to bring in Divine because Divine is a senior programs manager at Africa Education Watch. Now, the reason why it's important to speak to Divine and Africa Education Watch is because they've been looking into this matter as well. Okay, so we can compare notes a little bit. Okay, Divine, thank you for your time. Good morning. Do we have Divine on the line?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Okay, so listen, based on the findings of the Fourth Estate, would you say, looking at this contract, that we're getting value for money?
All right, good morning again. This one, you're listening. Well, when you look at our own investigation or study that we did in July...
Divine, I think we have to move you away from the radio if possible, okay? Because we're getting some feedback. If we can switch off that radio.
Hello, you?
Yes, it's much better now.
Is it better?
Yes, much better. Please go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So we also did a study in July last year where we sampled about 150 senior high schools and 138 of them responded, of which we noticed that 107 of them mentioned that they were not having functioning Wi-Fi. They had Wi-Fi installed in their school, but they were not functioning, and that translates to about 78% of the schools that responded. And even if you look at that, if you don't want to go into the case of the Fourth Estate, you want to look at that alone, you can safely conclude that we didn't have value for money, especially for the amount spent on installation, 59.9 million Ghana cedis that have been used to install Wi-Fi in sub 1 and 17 senior high schools or so. And if our sample tells that for some schools, even for over a year, and some of them for 6 months, and some of them, they mentioned that right after installation, within 3 months, their Wi-Fi have been down. And some for a year have not been having functioning Wi-Fi. Tells you that even the amount we have spent for installation alone, we have not had value for it. And then if you want to take the work of the Fourth Estate, where they are establishing that contrary to the terms of the contract that prescribe monthly payment to the service provider, if a downtime service is up or exceeding half of the amount, payment should not be made to them, but yet the ministry went ahead to make payment. It also tells you that the monthly recurring amount that we have to pay, that's about 2.6 million Ghana cedis. That aspect too, there's no value for money in that aspect. It has been our situation when we did our study. So I'm glad that the Fourth Estate actually took a step further to establish that there have been instances of some schools that services are not being provided in their school, yet their invoices have been validated and payments effected. I read the letter from the Ministry of Education, and I do not see how it actually addressed some of these issues, because the president did not clarify whether indeed the allegation from the Fourth Estate that we have mentioned names of schools. And I think if you look at it, about 46 schools have been mentioned. Specifically, they mentioned Accra Academy, Labone Senior High School, Budget Senior High School, Braha, community day SHS examination fee. Some of these schools have been provided in their investigation. You read through the entire press up by the ministry, and you don't see a line that says no, it is not accurate that these services have not been working in this school, but we have effected payment. We have not denied it. And for me, it tells that they have the pace to answer. And also, it brings into question the effectiveness of the work done by the validation committee. If you look at the contract, supposed to have a validation committee that will validate the invoices from the various schools before payment is effected, made up of Ministry of Education, NACA, GES, BV Internet, and the National Communication Authority. These 5 entities made up the validation committee. But again, we're also learning that aside this particular established body, at the ministry itself, there's another body established which have not been mentioned in the contract to also validate what this 5 million committee may have done. So if we still have all these monitoring mechanisms in place, but yes, schools that are not having services, payments have been effected on their behalf, then we need to question the effectiveness of this committee. And that's why if you look at our policy brief we did on this in July 2023, we specifically requested from the Auditor General to carry out performance audit report into the entire project, the Wi-Fi project in our senior high school, the 770 senior high schools. My understanding is that the Auditor General is carrying out the investigation, and they may have even concluded it's left to be published. So it's very important that we follow up on that to actually know what that particular audit may have also revealed. But on the whole, the answer to your question is that we are not having money for the services that we asked this internet service to provide in terms of the amount spent on installation, and then also on the face of the fact that service, the money is being paid for servicing or rented to some of the school. Right. We are not having that for money.
Okay. Now, this is a serious thing because, look, this whole, provision of Wi-Fi in schools, it's a big part of the government's Smart Schools project and even the larger digitization agenda, in SHSs. So the impact of this contract not being executed properly is huge. What should be done going forward?
But it's huge because we have several interventions outside the Smart School project, and then which actually includes the one student, one tablet. We also have concepts like the iBox and then iCampus in our senior high school. Either the iBox or the iCampus actually needs to be internet driven. So without internet, they can't even access that device. So it will be affecting teaching and learning. Teachers will have to depend on it to carry out researches online to prepare their lesson notes or lesson plan for teaching and learning. And so the effect will be enormous, as I can just imagine, even on administrative work. Going forward, there's a need for government to reconsider the contract with Busy Internet. That's very important. And I'm glad, reading from the press up from the ministry, they have indicated that they are considering that option where schools that may not be having effectiveness in services that the Busy Internet or the service provider is rendering, they want to reconsider their contractual agreement with them. That is very important. We made similar call in our policy brief published in July 2023 that, look, if we are not having value for money, we cannot let the service provider to be taking money for things that they are not doing. There's a need for the contract to be reviewed. And my understanding also is that August 2023 last year, they reviewed parts of the contract. That's where you realize that there have been some increments. You mentioned an increment in the recurring costs. It's because they reviewed in August 2023 and because of prevailing cost of living and then also inflation, they increased the recurring cost. But for us, it must not be that the review necessary is looking at whether the amount being paid is enough to meet the current prevailing cost of living. It should also be that if we are reviewing, is the service provider doing what is expected of it? If they are not doing that, then if we have to take them away from the contract, I think there's a provision for that can be established to look at that. And I think that's what the ministry is basing on, to review the contract to ensure that schools that are not having internet connection, busy internet, will not continue to be rendering service to them. But beyond us pointing fingers to the service provider, there's a need to demand accountability from the Ministry of Education itself, because if you have established all these monitoring mechanisms and yet you still continue to make payments to the service provider for services that they have not rendered in school, then we need to question you, how effective is your own monitoring mechanism? And therefore, this particular audit that we requested or demanded that the Auditor General carries out, actually look at how they can demand accountability from the Ministry of Education, where there are clear indications that abnormalities are being committed. Then there's a need to demand that if whatever sanction that is applicable should be applied to them. But most importantly, the need for us to ensure that the services are effective in our schools. And I personally do not see busy internet in a position to provide effective internet services in our school. How they ended up winning this particular contract even beats my imagination, for the very fact that we have other similar service providers in the country that could have provided superior services. It actually beats my imagination. And if it is possible, I am not a procurement expert. If it's possible for us to reconsider the contract to ensure that a better service provider is brought in to ensure effectiveness in service provision, I think it will be very useful to ensure that we have functional Wi-Fi in our senior high schools.
Okay, well, luckily we do have a procurement expert, and we'll be speaking to him after the break, alongside the deputy ranking member of the Education Committee in Parliament. How did a company win a government contract without GRA or SNIT clearance? Or even, from what we are learning, an NCA license? Also, did this contract come before the Education Committee in Parliament? We'll find out answers to these questions and more when we come back from these messages.
Happy Monday and welcome to Vital Signs by Sonotech Medical Center. I'm Dr. Grace Bachman. Today we're continuing our mission to debunk common myths about blood donation. 1. I can't donate if I'm on medication. Not true. Many medications don't prevent you from donating, but it's always best to check with the donation center about your specific situation. 2. Donating blood will weaken my immune system. That's incorrect. Your body quickly replenishes the donated blood and your immune system remains strong and intact. 3. I need to know my blood type before I donate. Not at all. Blood donation centers will determine your blood type when you donate. Your blood type will then be used to match recipients. Debunking these myths helps us understand that blood donation is accessible, safe, and always in demand. Ready to roll up your sleeves and be a donor? Join Sonotech on Saturday, 15 June at the Westhill Small Car Park.
ACE Events Management UK presents the 30th anniversary of the Water Africa and West Africa Building and Construction Exhibition and Seminar from June 26 to 28 at the Accra International Conference Center. The event offers a unique opportunity for companies worldwide and locally to showcase their products and services in the water, sanitation, housing, environment, and construction sectors. Attendance is free. The exhibition will complement a 3-day seminar covering vital topics on water and sanitation, building and construction, and a CPD course and workshop by Professor Bob Ando. Attendance to the seminar and exhibition is entirely free. For more details, visit www.aceevents.com or call 0556 304 521. Thank you to our sponsors: Syntex Tank, Herring Connect Tunneling Services, Polytank, Aquagrow Limited, Water Resource Commission South Africa, and Aquagrow. Ministries of Sanitation and Water Resources, Works and Housing proudly endorse the event. Media partners: Joy News, Joy Business, and Ghana Web.
Enhance your business operations with the HP Color LaserJet Pro MFP 423DW printer. You can print, copy, and scan up to 33 pages per minute with high-quality mobile scans or customizable shortcuts in the HP Smart app that delivers effortless use from wherever you work so you can focus on growing your business. Take advantage of its Wi-Fi direct printing and intuitive touchscreen, which are both designed to simplify your day. With the HP LaserJet Pro multifunctional 42003DW printer, experience fast and easy setup and improved overall printing efficiency with a 50,000 page duty cycle. Built to keep you and your business secure and moving forward with an embedded security that is pre-configured out of the box to detect and stop attacks. The HP Color LaserJet Pro MFP 423DW printer is available at all Kompu Ghana stores. Visit kompugana.com or call 0302 752020 for more information. Everyone is running to Bills. Enjoy the peace of mind that comes with acquiring any of our loan facilities. For whoever you are and whatever you're doing, Bills has a product for you. No susu, no deposits. All you need is your Ghana card. Call 0302 200 390 or 0596 928 33 today and live a bill-free life. Bills Microcredit is licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Bills, financing your needs. Terms and conditions apply. EMY Africa presents the EMY Africa Expo 2024 from the 14th to the 16th of June at the Accra International Conference Center. An exciting 3-day premium expo showcasing businesses, products, and services together with integrated consumer experiences and entertainment options. Prepare to encounter a weekend-long extravaganza that caters to every desire and necessity of the modern person, from sports to food, beverages to travel, automobiles to arts and culture, health to fashion, and everything in between. Booths are available for prospect vendors to showcase and sell their products and services. Take advantage of the ample opportunities for networking and business expansion. Visit emyafrica.com to register and secure your booth now. Call 020-201-8870. Email sales@emyafrica.com. The EMY Africa Expo, a premium marketplace.
Introducing Lele Sunflower Oil, enriched with vitamin A and available in convenient sizes. Go to the nearest supermarket or neighborhood shop today to buy your half liter, 1 liter, 1.8 liter, 3 liter, and 5 liters of Lele Sunflower Oil. Lele Sunflower Oil, the chef's choice. Lele, tasty food, happy family.
This advert is FDA approved.
Yeah, Sydney, yeah. Je suis arrivé.
Coffee in your cup.
Africa money. Anyway, you're welcome back. It's about 13 minutes past 9 on the Super Morning Show, and today's conversation is about an 84 million Ghana cedi contract that has been given to Busy Internet, which of course is being questioned because, according to an investigation by the Fourth Estate, this company shouldn't even have got the contract to begin with. They owe government tax, they owe SNIT contributions for their staff. And in addition to all of that, after getting the contract, which also came with a 6.3 million Ghana cedi monthly data and maintenance fee, in spite of that, several schools are not receiving internet. Some of them for 24 months in a row didn't receive internet service, but were paid. I mean, Busy Internet was paid for providing internet to those schools. We are going to get to the bottom of this and understand exactly what happened. We've been joined by Kwesi Kwarteng, who's a spokesperson at the Education Ministry. We'll be hearing more from him in a moment. Kwesi, good morning and thank you for making the time. Okay. But before that, let's speak to Collins Ajiman Sapong. Mr. Ajiman Sapong is a procurement expert, consultant in the area of procurement. Mr. Ajiman Sapong, good morning and thank you for your time.
Good morning, Kwajo.
So, of course, you've listened to the findings of the Fourth Estate in this contract business. Now, this is a company that did not have a GRA or SNIT clearance certificate. They could not have had GRA or SNIT clearance certificates. Preliminarily, what are your thoughts on this?
Yes, I've listened to it. If all what Fourth Estate has found out in terms of the GRA certification, SNIT certification, and what we call industry-related certification, that is the NCA certification, and all that, then the question will be, what did the Education Ministry see before even writing to PPA for a single source? Because we have something we call mandatory requirements, and we look at the mandatory requirement at what we call preliminary stage, when preliminary responsiveness, when we are doing tender evaluation. And that one is what we look at. The company must be registered with the registrar of company, that's the registrar general. You need to have a certificate that is valid. You should also have a valid GRA certificate, meaning you are tax compliant. You should also have a SNIT certification, meaning you take care of your employees and all. Then we have the industry related. So when it is wet, you have to have a certificate from Western Housing certificate showing the class in terms of D1, D2 and all for construction, and K1, K2 for electrical and all. That's from Western Housing certification. And even you need to get labor certificate as a contractor. Okay, so that one will be industry. When it comes to IT related, you are supposed to have a certificate from National Communication Authority that you are supposed to deal in that area. So you cannot even sell laptops and other things in Ghana without being certified by NCA, internet and all. So we look at all these, and this certification, if you miss one, you wouldn't even be moved to the next stage. Even we have something we call major deviation, and you need to even, if we want to help you, we need to call you to bring it. If not, when we give you time. So it will beg for a lot of questions if this internet did not have, even with the GRA, you can move to the next level. Okay? And there is a spirit and behind some of this requirement. At times, some of us, we ask, why is somebody giving you a lower price, but you disqualify that person because the person is not bringing tax certificate, and you go for somebody with tax certificate who is going to charge you higher? We have, there's a reason for it. You know that the Commissioner General can stop anybody who is doing business who is not tax compliant. So if you go ahead, like what is happening now, the GRA can stop whichever company that have been given this contract to stop the work. And therefore, it means that the person cannot work in the country. So Nick, your workers can, and I've worked with some organization where a vendor, a supplier of service was called to a SNIT because he wasn't paying his tax, SNIT contribution for their staff, right? We terminated that contract immediately. It wasn't part of our agenda, but once we heard in the news that that company wasn't paying SNIT for their workers, we terminated that contract. So it begs for a lot of questions if these guys didn't have all this and they still got the contract.
Now, tell us about this licensing situation and why it's important. Why is it important for the NCA to grant a license to a company before they can do this sort of business?
You heard that recently. We heard that the whale or the shark killed some fiber optic, whatever, under the sea. You saw what happened in the country.
Yeah.
Communication, everything went wrong for the entire country for about a week. So there's a risk. So the NCA need to certify whether the service provider, whatever they have the license, are they registered, where are they terminating their whatever. They need to know to see, and again we have the cyber security issues. So NCA, they are mandated to check all this, because look, if a service provider, internet service provider, comes and they are not having certificate, they are the right people. Do you know where your information is going? These are schools. For all you know, there are some people in some Azerbaijan somewhere looking at whatever we are doing. So NCA needs to certify this company that, look, guys, this system, that equipment, it doesn't work here in Ghana. And even with sustainability, there are a lot of emissions that all these electronic gadgets that we use, are emitting. So it is NCA mandate to make sure that everything, which equipment are you using?
Your call has been put on hold. Please wait.
Which internet provider are you using outside Ghana and all? You, the procurement expert, you wouldn't know. You don't know when there's something there and it's emitting something. You don't understand. So please, go to the authority, get that certificate. Once you bring it, I pass you to the next level. So it begs for a lot of questions why we will contract somebody who was not certified with by NCA and we give them the contract. No.
Now, at some point after winning the contract, Busy Internet transferred it to Lifted Logistics, because Lifted Logistics bought Busy Internet in November 2018. Now, this is interesting. From a procurement point of view, is it regular for such a thing to happen without PPA approval, the contract being transferred to another entity?
Okay. I saw the PPA letter giving the approval from the transfer. Yes, in procurement, when you're giving somebody a contract and the person is unable to do the contract, they need to come to you and say that, look, I am subcontracting this aspect of my work, or this work, I cannot do it. So the transfer shouldn't be at the behest of the contract, the contractor. They should just tell you the principal, the Ghana Education Service, that, my boss, this contract, we cannot continue. Then they will take back the contract and now go back and re-award it.
Right.
However, if they even told it, okay, we are transferring this thing to these people because we know that they have the capacity, is the Ministry of Education that need to also do their due diligence and say that, okay, these guys are good, let's sit down, renegotiate, and do a new contract to cover the new arrangement, but not a supplier or contractor or a vendor just, from college, okay, I've won this contract, could you come and take it and go and deliver it? No. You need to go to the principal and say, okay, I cannot do it, I am recommending. So you really have to recommend that, okay, I'm not doing it, but there's another competing organization, I recommend them, you can speak to them, and you move from there. So there shouldn't be, I have transferred, just like that from a supplier to, no, even with subcon, when let's say you are building, right, and you've gotten all the contracts for electrical, for mechanical, for painting, plumbing, and all that. When you are bringing a new contractor for maybe electrical, you need to inform the principal that, okay, boss, I am subcontracting, let's say, 20% of the entire work to this company. And what we need to do is do proper due diligence of that subcontractor before you tell them, go ahead and work with this contractor, or go ahead and work with this electrical or mechanical contractor. It is not you who will go and bring the people and do work for you, unless maybe it is a turnkey contract where everything is assumed that you are delivering everything. But even that, you still have to inform me if you are bringing a subcontractor to deliver some aspect of the contract. So you cannot just sit there and transfer contracts without the proper due diligence.
That's interesting. Okay, so all right, let's conclude with this. If the cost of the contract has to be changed, which we know that the monthly renewable costs was changed, from 6.3 million to 11.5 million. If this has to happen while the contract is being executed, what process must be followed to do that?
Okay, so I saw the letter from PPA, which was perfectly, you see, in the law, we have section 87. We call it modification. That clause says that anytime you are working and you are going to vary the contract, meaning increment, when there's increment, and it is more than 10% of the original contract, what you need to do is to write a report and go through the approval process that you went through initially. So I saw that because the initial one, they received the single source approval from PPA, they went back to PPA for PPA to approve. So that one, they have cleared the process. However, I am a procurement expert and I'm still practicing. We are practitioners. We are calling for amendment of our law so that we move that approval of single source and restricted from PPA. Because the way it is applied in Ghana, no, single source is not a wrong method. Restricted is not a wrong method. It has a reason. But the way Ghanaians we see it, once PPA gives us approval, it becomes an open check. And it's in the law that once PPA gives approval for single source, it goes straight to contracting. So people find all sort of reasons to write to PPA. Once they get approval, they come and mess up at their entity. So some of us are calling for total amendment where we remove the approval of restricted tendering and single source from PPA. Because there is this body called the UNCITRA, United Nations Commission on Trade Laws, international trade laws. They are mandated by UN to harmonize all international trade laws for which procurement law is passed. They have a procurement process or requirement where single source, restricted tendering is in there. It's not approved by you, the entity head. If you are a man, you just apply your single source. Then later, PPA will come and audit you. Did you see the PPA letter? They at the last bottom, this paragraph is always there in their approval. Kindly make sure that your documentations are done well for future audit and tax purposes. Once PPA puts that, they have removed themselves from all these things that are going on within the entity's place. We can't go and jail anybody in PPA. Because in the law has mandated them to approve or disapprove. So they are doing their what? Legally mandated work. So PPA approves, and then they go to the entity and mess up the whole process. What due diligence did PPA do for them to give the approval? What due diligence did the entity, I'm talking about Ghana Education Service, what did they do? before they said that transfer from busy to anointed to this to that. So now the entity is now hiding behind PPA approval.
Yeah.
And you cannot, as soon as you go for audit at the entity, you just go there, first thing they'll flash you with the PPA approval.
Yeah.
And once, yes, we sit on the entity tender committee. Once they receive the approval from PPA, everybody has become weak. The regulator has approved. What else you, the professional, would you say? Because the law has mandated PPA to approve.
Yeah.
So some of us are calling for amendment of that. Then we remove the restricted and single source approval to the entities themselves, so that all the tests and the PPA themselves can come at them.
Yeah.
But now the entity is covered because you say that we got the approval from the authority, and therefore, you can't do anything.
Yeah, we get it.
Because PPA, you cannot arrest anybody from PPA.
Of course. Thank you very much for explaining these things to us, Mr. Collins Ajiman Sapong. Now, we are going to hear from the Education Ministry. They are going to help us understand this from their perspective. But before that, let's hear from Dr. Clement Apak. He's Deputy Ranking Member of Parliament's Education Committee. Dr. Apak, let me ask you this. Did this contract come before the Education Committee in Parliament?
Kojo, can I plead with you to increase the volume?
Certainly.
Your voice is a bit faint.
We apologize. Can you hear me now?
Well, I will strain myself to respond appropriately.
We apologize. We're trying to make it as loud and clear as possible. So I'm asking you, did this contract come before the Education Committee in Parliament?
Well, first of all, let me say a good morning to you, to my co-panelists, as well as the good people of Ghana who are listening to us. The short answer is no. But to the short answer is some explanation. As somebody who has an interest in the educational sector, and as the Deputy Ranking Member on the Education Committee, I have followed matters to do with government's announced policy to provide free Wi-Fi for public secondary schools, public colleges of education, the district directorates of education around the country, as well as the regional directorates of education across the country. I did so because the NPP government in its 2016 manifesto had indicated that it will provide this service free to the aforementioned institutions. My checks indicate that it was sometime in 2019 that a contract was signed as per the then Minister for Education and the current Minister for Communication and Digitalization, when they appeared before Parliament's Appointments Committee to be vetted for appointments to serve in Akufo-Addo Bawumia government for the second term. Now, I had challenged an assertion that was made by the current flag bearer of the MPP, who was then the vice president, to the effect that as of 2020 October, 80% of public senior high schools in Ghana had been connected to the internet. And as you would expect me to do, I filed a series of questions to the Minister for Education seeking information with regards to this policy. As I speak to you today, these questions were filed in 2021. I am yet responses from the minister or his representative And the reason why I filed those questions was because as a member of the Education Committee, we had not seen a contract. We didn't know the company that government had awarded the contract to. We didn't know the terms and conditions of that contract. We didn't know the processes by which the selected company or companies were selected and awarded the contracts. So I felt it was my responsibility to seek this information from the minister, since government through the minister had not volunteered to bring this contract and even this policy to the Education Committee for even informational purposes and to even ensure that government assisted us as an oversight committee in matters to do with education. So as we speak, if not for the benevolence of the Fourth Estate, I would never have become aware that the contract that government signed was a 5-year contract valued at 84 million Ghana cedis with a recurrent component at the time at 6.3 million Ghana cedis. So that is the situation as far as the Education Committee and Parliament is concerned with regards to what obviously is turning out to be a scandal with very serious implications.
Yeah. So now that we know these details of this contract and how it was awarded, what can Parliament do?
Well, you know, I have always been a proactive advocate, but I've raised this issue on several occasions on various media platforms. I remember I challenged government to even provide us with a list of the schools and institutions it claimed were benefiting from this free Wi-Fi policy and its implementation. Having failed to do that, even before we rose in Parliament, I remember I briefed the parliamentary press when I became aware of the company that was awarded the contract, the value of the contract in Parliament. So what we would do now, given the information that is available, is to activate the needed processes to seek accountability. Because it is not right, it is not acceptable that the taxpayers' monies will be doled out to a company to provide a service that it is not providing. And yet the company is paid monthly, and as I now know, 11.5 million Ghana cedis as recurrent expenditure, in addition to the parent component of the arrangement, which is the 84 million Ghana cedis. So I would contact the Fourth Estate, and I must say that the Fourth Estate has interviewed me on this matter, and I've proffered my opinions and shared documentation as far as I'm concerned with the Fourth Estate as well. So what I would do is, when we resume in Parliament tomorrow, clearly I will speak to my leadership. I believe the Committee on Education now has a justifiable basis to wheel in the minister to respond to these questions before the committee. And if he refuses to do so, then we would have no choice to file a motion to the Speaker asking for him to be brought to Parliament to answer the questions that I posed, to which he should have answered some 2-3 years ago.
Right. Well, if you stay on the line, Dr. Apak, we may get some of the answers to your questions right now, because we are joined by the spokesperson for the Ministry of Education, Mr. Kwesi Kwarteng. Mr. Kwarteng, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my brother. How are you doing?
We are very well, and we're glad you're able to join us.
Thank you.
Let's start from the beginning. So, when this contract was awarded to Busy Internet, can you tell us why the ministry decided to award it on a single source basis?
Thank you very much, and good morning to your listeners, and of course your viewers, particularly with the introduction of social media component, which is doing so well. It is important to understand briefly with a background that the government of Ghana calls as part of the education transformation agenda to be able to make sure that we reposition Ghana's education, particularly within the areas of digitization and technology. In 2019, engage the services of an aggregator whose responsibility was to harmonize aspects of internet service provision. Specifically, you are referring to satellite, fiber, microwave, LTE, and make sure that he brings all these components of internet production together and then supply it to the various schools. So if you look at the arrangement that the ministry had, the ministry secured procurement approval from the PPA for 2 phases of the project. The first in August 2019, and that was to engage the company, then Busy Internet Ghana Limited, for the Wi-Fi provision. And like I indicated, so responsibility for the company was to, for instance, go to MTN and tell MTN that, look, I will need your services in this school. Go to and tell Click that I am going to need your services in the area of satellite to this school. Go to, for instance, Vodafone and say that I want to extend your cable internet to that school. So the cumulative effect was that they were to apparently extend internet provisions to 717 senior high schools.
Right. Mr. Kwarteng, my question is, why sole sourcing?
So, like I indicated, first of all, it is important to stress that the contract was signed in 2019. I mean, I was not there, but if you look at the background that I've given you, that you needed a company to aggregate, more or less, to work with other companies, bring all the other companies that are providing internet services together and make sure that they provide internet services to the school or extend internet services to the school. I mean, certainly you may be looking for a company that may have probably the expertise or the technique to do that within that area.
Is that the grounds
description that I've given?
Is that the grounds on which the single source contract was procured? Is it because Busy Internet was the only company with this expertise?
Obviously you may have, other companies on the market. But the point I'm trying to say is that when you as an organization requires a certain specific service, and in this service, a customized service, and there is an organization that presents a proposal, or of course, if you look at the organization's reviews and works that is capable of doing that, you are more likely to be aligned.
Is that what happened
with that company?
Is that what happened? Did Busy Internet present a proposal?
So I am saying that. Obviously, before you engage any organization, you have to look at what they have to offer.
We want to know what specifically happened with this contract, Mr. Kwarteng.
Come again?
We want to know what specifically happened with this contract. How did it end up being so sourced?
That's why I'm saying that it is important to stress that this contract was signed in 2019. I was
Right.
not working in 2019.
So
I was
you-
not in the ministry.
okay,
Of course,
so you
I
don't
speak for the
know.
ministry.
So you don't know why it was single sourced.
No, I am.
Okay.
I am saying that. I'm saying that if you look at the nature of the services that the ministry required, it makes sense to, say that it was based on the customized services that the ministry needed at that time, in terms of, an organization that should be able to bring together all this internet service provision. Of course, if you look at, I'm not a procurement expert, but reasons where any organization will engage other organizations within the sole sourcing arrangement largely borders on customization. And if you look at the nature of services as in the aggregation, one can, for instance, then make a point that it was due to the nature of services in terms of
So that's what happened.
getting that customized services. That is why the ministry, as at then, will think in that line. Of course, I was...
So the ministry did this because they considered this service, providing internet to several sites, to be a customized service. That's why they did it.
So, Kojo, if you heard me right, I initially gave the background that it is not a case of, for instance, MTN sending internet service to, say, a school in Boga.
Okay.
I spoke about the fact of that you needed an organization to aggregate all these services.
Okay,
For instance,
forgive me, because of time and the fact that we have a lot to go through and very little time. I think you've made this point already, so we can move on to something else. Why has the ministry been paying for schools that have not been receiving internet? Examples are Accra Academy, Laboni, St. Mary's. These schools have been visited by the Fourth Estate. They have not been receiving internet. But the ministry has been paying Busy Internet for providing internet to these schools. Why?
First of all, we have to understand that if we look at even the terms of the contract, it provides very clearly that payment to Busy Internet is obviously based on the accessible, dedicated internet that is provided to the schools, and of course the schools can access, and not necessarily on a fixed monthly cost. And of course, clearly, service compensation is prorated. What we mean by prorated is that at the end of every month, you only pay for what has been supplied and what you have been able to access and use. So it is not a case that, if you look at, for instance, the PP approval, it requires that the ministry is not supposed to pay more than a certain amount. But at every point, the ministry always reviews the claims that has been submitted by the company. Of course, there is a committee for that. There is also even monitoring mechanism for that before you are able to review and say that then this is the accessible internet that we're able to access within the mine. Just like ECG. If you don't get power supply within a specific time and is on prepaid basis, you are not going to pay for it. So for emphasis sake, the ministry does not pay for services that they have not used. It is not a case that, of course, if you look at the, let's say, largely the PP approval and you do not understand it in detail, you may be tempted to believe that the ministry pays, let's say, a fixed cost every month. No. The PP approval was very clear that at the end of the month, for instance, if you look at the second PP approval that was secured, the ministry was not to pay more than or an excess of 6 million Ghana cedis for the internet service that they receive in a month. So what it essentially means is that if at the end of every month you receive an internet service up to, say, 1 million, that's what you are going to pay for.
Right.
For instance, in February 2024, I'm ending, an invoice of 6.4 million was submitted by the company. But after a thorough auditing of the invoice, the ministry ended up paying around 3.6 million after the prorating. So let us understand that there is that prorating requirement.
Yeah, that was all in your statement.
You just don't pay for services.
We saw that in your
Are not
statement.
used.
We saw that in your statement. But Mr. Kwarteng, I'm asking about specific schools like Laboni Senior High School. Laboni Senior High School for 24 months, that's 2 years, had not received any internet service from Busy Internet or Lifted Logistics. But on the list of schools that you have been paying, the list that your ministry provided the Fourth Estate under a right to information request, Laboni Senior High School is there on that list that you are paying for internet there. Meanwhile, it is their own students that have been providing them with internet, not Busy Internet. Bolgatanga girls, 24 months, no internet, but you've been paying them. Peje SHS, 24 months, no internet, you have been paying them. Why?
First of all, could you understand that if you look at even the list of course, the payment schedule that we give to Evans, the Fourth Estate journalist, it doesn't give breakdown of payments to individual schools, and the payment is actually harmonized and paid as a consolidated amount for the services that we've received. It's just like, for instance, I mean, if ECG bills all schools in Ghana and say that at the end of the month government is supposed to pay 6 million. We don't pay on individual basis. So I will be very surprised how he came to that conclusion. 24 months, a school has not been getting internet and we are paying. Because the payment was not in specific reference to individual schools. It was a consolidated amount paid for the dedicated internet that was accessible within that particular month. So I will be very surprised for anybody to lay a claim that a school A did not get internet service and we pay them. Emphasis sake, the ministry don't pay for schools that do not get internet. And of course, if we want to even go into the details of it, if you go and stand in any classroom or say in front of the gate of it or the entrance of any school and attempt to get internet, you may not get it because that was not part of the terms of the contract. As of now, until probably government expands the internet coverage to the entire scope of the schools, these contracts only limited internet access to the administration block, the ICT center, and the school library.
We
so
know
it
this.
Is not a case.
Yeah, we know this. I mean, at a rate of an average rate of about 84,000 cedis per site, this is what you did. We know that. But we are asking you, the list that you gave to the journalists had schools that you have been paying consistently. Meanwhile, these schools are reporting that for 24 months they have not had internet. You are denying that, right? You are saying that there are no such schools that have not had internet for 24 months, right?
No, I'm not saying that. I am saying that it is. You see, Kojo, I'm not running away from responsibility. That and of course, I'm not also running away from the reality. I am very much aware that Busy Internet failed to pay their mother organization, Click, in terms of providing even the internet in the areas of satellite to these schools. So, of course, I understand that there is even a genuine problem. But the point that I'm making is that those institutions that do not have internet service, we don't pay those institutions.
Right.
Because if you look at the terms of the contract,
right.
It's very clear that if the organization or the company is not able to provide internet for up to 15 days, we even do not pay anything.
Okay, that's also a point you've made already. I literally have seconds to go. I just need a yes or no quickly on this. At the time you were giving them this contract, did you see certificates from SNIT and GRA before you gave this contract to Busy Internet?
I will have to verify that and confirm for you. But I would be very surprised if indeed TPA will go ahead and approve a document without seeing a GRA certificate.
Well,
and of course,
all right. right. Well, surprising things have happened before in this republic. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Kwesi Kwarteng. Obviously, this conversation cannot end here. We have to continue at our earliest convenience. We'll take some messages. Thank you very much to all of those we've heard from. Dr. Clement Apak, Collins Ajiman Sapong, Evans Aziamo Mensah, who, of course, is the reporter from the 4th Estate. Thank you all so much for your time. Take a break. Back after these.
Hey, welcome back to work.
Charlie, thanks, bro. Thanks, bro.
Malaria really knocked you down, eh?
Charlie, no joke. Hey. Fever, headache, vomiting, loss of appetite. I couldn't even eat my usual fufu.
You and fufu?
How we go do it?
I hope you got tested before the malaria treatment.
Oh, yes, I did. And thanks to Malatu, I kicked out malaria one time.
Sharp. Anyway, sorry to ruin your excitement, but your boss asked of you.
Okay.
She says she has plenty work for you.
No problem, Charlie. Strength day.
You see,
When malaria strikes, take Malatu, containing Artemether and Lumefantrine. Comes in tablet and suspension for the effective treatment of malaria in adults and children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Malatu is manufactured and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Usually, we get special treatment only on our birthday. But imagine getting a special package every single day. That's what AT's Daily Deals gives you. You get unique voice and data deals exclusive to you. What's even better is it's affordable, reliable, and available. Start experiencing AT's Daily Deals. Dial *533# today and every single day. When you do, you'll unlock exclusive data and voice packages valid for 24 hours. Come on, people, jump on the AT Daily Deals train. When you're with dealer now. Dial *533# now and access awesome data and voice deals only from AT. Life is simple.
Charlie? Yeah, so that's what the Education Ministry had to say about things. To think that, I mean...
Did you understand it?
Not. I mean, I don't think he answered any of the questions, to be fair.
He tried.
He tried, but he asked to speak on this matter, right? But didn't seem to have any information about why sole sourcing, because he wasn't even there when it happened. He couldn't really explain why schools were not getting
these
internet.
Issues were raised before he came on. I mean, if you could not
have
address them,
yes, for
you don't
answers.
you don't have to be there to know that. You just ask the right people. It's not as if the government to be changed hands. It's the same government anyway.
All right. Okay. Listen, do you want to be a flight attendant or perhaps check-in staff or ticketing staff? Then pay attention. Travelex Group Limited is your solution. Travelex Group is giving you the opportunity to get trained in IATA travel and tourism courses, okay, as well as other aviation-related professional courses. Just imagine sitting at home with all your skills and abilities, not able to find a job because of the economy, and suddenly Travelex is giving you the chance to become a high-flying flight attendant or perhaps check-in staff or ticketing staff in some wonderful uniform, getting some great salary. Yeah, well, you can get it, okay, because the models that they will teach you in these professional courses will equip you for diverse corporate fields. Training period is just 6 months, okay, for most of the courses, and they have flexible schedules, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., or you could do the 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. sessions. So morning or evening, up to you. Payment plans are available, and your certificate is internationally recognized. It's a diploma, which you will get after successfully going through the program. The Travelex Group, because of their 32-year anniversary, is also giving some great discounts. So listen, hurry up, go visit them. They are at Cargo Door Airport, just behind the KLM office, or email travelexgroupltd@gmail.com. You can call 024-656-7898.
Now log on to Kingdom Store online now if you want quality office essentials, equipment, also furniture at affordable prices. Now is the time to do so. They will do delivery to your homes and offices at a reasonable time, offer free delivery in Accra and Tema, and accept payment via Momo across all networks. Of course, terms and conditions apply. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks.
All right, well, this is where we put a pin in it. Thank you for listening. We're back tomorrow with more. The next voice you hear belongs to a troublemaker with the 10 o'clock bulletin. Have a good one. My name is Koji Yanks and I'm the morning man.
Raymond Aqua.